The Leo King will be live shortly. Please hold on while the collective consciousness loads, and thank you for being a part of the Leo Kingdom. The Leo King will be live shortly. Please hold on while the collective consciousness loads, and thank you for being a part of the Leo Kingdom. The Leo King will be live shortly. Please hold on while the collective consciousness loads, and thank you for being a part of the Leo Kingdom. The Leo King will be live shortly. Please hold on while the collective consciousness loads, and thank you for being a part of the Leo Kingdom. The Leo King will be live shortly. Please hold on while the collective consciousness loads, and thank you for being a part of the Leo Kingdom.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? It is David Palmer, the Leo King, and we are here for Deep Love Tarot, your weekly love tarot / astrology report for the week of February 3rd through the 9th of 2020, brought to you by highvibe.tv. Of course, I'm here with Craig Skidmore of High Vibe. What's going on, bro?
What up, what up, what up, what up, what up? Hard to believe, February.
I was actually, I was taking my piss before here so I don't have to go piss during the show anymore.
Oh, thank you.
That we're in February, and this is our first February Valentine's month Deep Love Tarot, right?
Yeah. What you got some plans for Valentine's Day, or what are you gonna do?
I don't know. Maybe my hand and I are gonna hang out. I don't know.
Yeah, it's about what I got on my schedule.
So, well, I always thought this, and I was actually thinking about this. I think that Aquarius season is the weirdest season to have a Valentine's Day because Aquarius deals with friendships and people and groups, not love. Leo deals with love. And so always Valentine's Day feels like people try really hard for love. And it always is that Valentine's date, or if you're in a relationship where they take it so serious and they like, you didn't do this, you didn't do that, you didn't do this. I might feel like Valentine's Day always goes better when there's no plans and you don't put this overhype on it. And then you just truly find a connection instead of forcing a connection. Does that make sense?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, how many times is it kind of these expectations like you talked about are put on situations or relationships when really we should be appreciating each other every damn day, you know? You should be getting gifts for your spouse, whether it be flowers. You know, I've talked about that a lot. I love to go into the stores and smell the flowers. But yeah, just about appreciating your partner every single day. So, you know, I think that kind of relieves that added pressure. I think it's those couples that, you know, might not speak that truth constantly, that act like they got to kind of show up and shine out for that special day.
Yeah, I mean, I think my ideal Valentine's Day would be like hitting my jewel in my bed with the reclining bed, watching Top Gun or something, and with a pizza and my hottie next to me.
I had way too much pizza this past weekend. Way too much.
Well, if you maybe you should get some pizza while you watch the show. Maybe we'll do a pizza Deep Love Tarot. That would be a good one time. Everybody order pizza and we have pizza and we're doing pizza all together. Maybe that's in the future. Maybe it's in the cards. But if you've never watched the show before, we do this exclusively for people that really want to understand the love through the astrology, but we pull the tarot and we do this in a whole different way than you ever watched before. Not only are we going to pull the cards for the collective and understanding where the astrology is and so forth, but then we have the High Vibe Red Cup where all of your zodiac signs are in and we go random where the universe wants us to go. And then, of course, we'll do the reading from there. We also have the exclusive, beautiful astrology dice, which are really fun that we throw on top of it. And, of course, by supporting us to be able to do this show out there for free, we would love it if you join highvibe.tv, because this is where not only deep astrology and all my other daily horoscopes are, but now my monthly report, which you can get now. If you don't want to be a member of High Vibe, you can still purchase my awesome monthly 2020 horoscope for February. This is a gnarly horoscope. It's an hour and 42 minutes long. I go through the whole month and I bring up stuff that And even while we were doing it live, and Craig can vouch for it, it was kind of gnarly, some of the stuff that was found astrologically going to go down this month.
Are we still doing the discount, or did I just jump the gun?
No, do the discount.
All right, it's up there right now, 20% discount.
But I think you might need to go while we're live and go in there and just do the coupon, get rid of a date. You can just push no date and then push save, and we'll keep it going. I guess we'll do it till tomorrow, the end of tomorrow after Deep Astrology. So if you want to onboard highvibe.tv right now, 20% discount on all subscriptions, go to highvibe.tv. And you can use that discount code if you just want to get the monthly and you don't want to be a subscriber. But then you'd be missing out on all the other horoscopes, because if you want the monthly now every month, guess what? Guess what? It's part of the membership now. So, what a time to be alive. The collective is definitely, I would say, this is a weird spot to be in.
It is weird.
Well, yeah, I want to get your interpretation before I go into the astrology. How are you feeling about life while you're editing
and the pursuit of happiness? I feel, I don't know. I'm just in that weird spot right now where I'm still just trying to focus on myself so that I can be in that place to receive love and to give love. So just trying to get out of my own way, pretty much.
Welcome to the club. Well, I had a good conversation with Anne actually last night. It's like the astrology is so weird. The sun's in Aquarius. We have a lot of energy in Pisces, Venus, which is leaving this week, going into Aries. We have a full moon coming, but right now it's all this Capricorn, Sag with Mars, and then all this Aquarius and Pisces. These are all the tail end of the zodiac. So it's a little bit like hibernation for a bear, you know? Like the energy is really dull, I guess you could say, or just slowed down. And then there's that Aquarian vibe where you're just kind of like, where is all this going in the future? So I think the future right now is almost unseen. And for many people, that could be a little weird. Mercury's down Pisces, which makes things really confusing too. So when you add these two elements together, it's like, where in the heck am I? You almost could feel like you're not even on a planet anymore. You're just kind of in a video that's just playing. So it feels a little bit funky out there. And I think people are starving for connection or starving for emotion or something to ignite life. And that's what the full moon in Leo brings this weekend, is the remembrance that there is life, there is brightness, there is so much out there. I think it's hard for us being Leo risings, of course, and being in a time like this. But
yeah, I had a past lover reach out to me actually today. I wanted to read it because she described it correctly to me. She said she feels slushy, mushy, funky with stagnancy and heavy vibes. And I felt like that hit the nail right on the head. I couldn't have described it any better.
Slushy. I like slushy because
Right.
it is kind of slushy out there right now.
Mushy and funky.
What sign is this ex-lover?
She's a Sagittarius.
Oh, actually, I don't know which one that is. So
Yeah, we dated for a while around the time that my mom got sick. So we're still really good friends.
that's good.
Yeah, she's married now and has kids.
Oh,
A kid.
even better.
Yeah. Another one that got pregnant right after we got done dating.
Yeah, Craig got
Don't
the
date me.
curse.
Don't
The
date me.
curse
Or
of
just don't stop dating me, I guess.
well, I was gonna say, like, I guess if you want to have a baby, make sure you date Craig, and then whether it's gonna be through Craig, you're guaranteed gonna get pregnant afterwards.
Not through me. Not quite yet. I ain't got time for that just yet.
I'm rousting you. I just am trying to bring some light to that. I hope you know that, brother.
I know.
Okay, collective energy. I was just describing the energy is all really weird. Mercury in Pisces, we're going to have this for a while, okay, folks? This is not easy placement. It does require us, though, to kind of get out of our brains to try and logically figure things out, especially with the sun in Aquarius, which wants to fix things, wants to understand. the complex understandings of each part of the universe, the scientific table. Like we're at a time where it's like, there is no way to understand how all these little configurations and all these connections. And Uranus is the energy of Aquarius, which deals with people. So we're dealing with people, we're dealing with the world, we're dealing with a lot of unsure positions right now. And Venus comes into Aries with Chiron while there's a full moon in Leo this weekend. And that's going to bring up a lot, because even though there's going to be this, I want love, I want to bring the brightness out and everything, it's not all looking the way that we expect it to look. Now, Venus and Chiron have, of course, met in Aries before, but I think that this is definitely going to be, or maybe they haven't actually. That would be a good one for me to actually double check on. It's definitely a weird vibe. And I think it's a lot of the perspective of identification of how life we think should look is not really looking that way. But then it brings up the question, do you even really know what it is that you really want it to look like? Because if it were to show up to you the way that you would want it to look like, would it still be like something is off? It's a good question. And with Venus moving out of Pisces, and it's in great aspects with Pluto, as we're talking on Monday night here, it's a transformational moment for us when it comes to clearing out a lot of the gunk that's been going on about feel-good energy. So when you're clearing it out, it feels like, is it ever going to happen? But you'll feel a release here coming into this week, like, okay, but then it's coming into Chiron. So Venus is in between Chiron and, this weird Neptune energy still. So Venus is in a weird space of just outer realms and that's all week. And then a full moon in Leo comes. And I think this full moon in Leo is reminding us there's light, there's love, there's a lot of positivity, but we're also in Aquarius. How does that fit in? Our own unique heart, our own unique soul's full, expressive, creative vibration. And does it have connection with anything or not? So this is going to be a very weird week, but Mercury in Pisces is saying whenever you get to a position where you logically are like, I can't figure it out, that's when you surrender it. Just surrender it and ask God, and something magical usually happens at that point. So this is magic hour, magic time. And I want to remind people it's magic time. Let's see what the cards have to say for the collective this week for love.
Bow, chicken, bow,
First card that we got is the Two of Swords upright. Wow. I know that it might seem really confusing about which direction to take right now, but I think that you have this, in yourself. Like you do know the direction to take. I think that any direction where you're feeling like, oh, this is a little bit too hard to deal with, or this is confusing, should I go this way or that way? It's like you're blindfolding yourself in many ways. You are the one creating, I think, an emotional, mental storm that you don't need to. I know that it feels like we're at a crossroads right now. But anything that you're just not really even really into, that you kind of have to keep continuously go, maybe am I making the wrong choice or whatever. It's like, if you're even in that space to where you're contemplating it so much constantly, maybe it's just about making the choice to where it's like, I just don't want to attach to anything or any love vibration or any person that I'm not truly all in about. If you're not really all in about it, why are you questioning it? It also, whenever I see Two of Swords for a love reading, it feels like we are kind of crossed between different, people. Could be multiple people, could be two people, could be, you're definitely looking at two different areas. And then you kind of feel that you're stuck and you're unsure where to go. I feel that it's, what are you not looking at that it's like denial. It's like denial of one of the roads. So you just want to keep both roads too. It's like, you just don't want to deal with the fact that road ain't going to work. So why don't you take off that blindfold and deal with it so you're out of this position? Our challenge card that we got is the 12th house of escape. You know what? Yeah, I think that the challenge is we all want this magical, beautiful escape to happen. And I think by us staying kind of caught in between spaces, and especially, having hard times making decisions about which direction to take, of course you're going to keep us in stuck land. There's nothing worse than being in stuck land. There's nothing worse than being in a line at Disneyland and then they close the ride. Well, the writing was on the wall when it was closed all day, and then they said, we're going to try and open it, but we don't know. And you're like, well, I still want to see, even though I probably will go broken again. And it's like, Why did you sit in that line? I think that we don't need to sit in lines anymore for our happiness and our love life. By us not being afraid to face the truth, which is the denial of us accepting something that is not on our path and accepting the path that we do feel is. So there's going to be some major choices about the kind of people that we're in. But you know what? We do not want to sit in a stuck place this week because these two cards together, I'll be honest, they're not that great for feeling like things are really understood and moving forward. And the collective energy is already not that way already astrologically. And the cards are reflecting that. How do we get through that? Well, death card. Oh, man. Woo! We're starting off the week great. Yeah, I think that we do got to nip shit in the butt. It's okay to say no. It's okay to put something to an end. Something might be extremely beautiful. It might just not be fitting in. If the glove don't fit,
you must have quit.
Must have quit.
It's
The
also
juice
too,
is loose.
it's also too maybe like it needs to be the death of an idea of what you thought that relationship was going to be, or how you thought that person was going to turn out in your life.
Yeah, we all thought OJ was great. Yeah, right.
Yeah, he turned. He had a hard 90 right there, real quick.
Yeah, in a Bronco. I think he did hit my 90 miles an hour, and I think he did a hard 90 in life. So I think that, yeah, and you know what? I don't want to bring up OJ, but talk about kind of being in a weird position and then trying to escape out of it. Like, you don't want to be OJ on the middle of the freeway with everybody in the Bronco going as fast as you can because you were just in denial of dealing with whatever the situation is, and then you kind of did something stupid. 12th house can deal with stupid shit too. Like, you would rather just, God, we're not going to associate him with the death card here, but death not being literal, but spiritually putting an end to something that just is making you feel stuck. And you know what? That's the crazy part about energy like this is it might not be known. It just is. Sometimes it doesn't matter how logically things look. Like, this looks good. This looks good. This looks amazing. This is amazing, but there's something off. There's something off. But that opens up the door, because I love the death card because it's a doorway. It's the ultimate doorway. When you close one door, guess what? Another door will open. And let's see what this last spiritual advice card is that we got here. We got the Tower card. I love this deck, by the way. I just got this Botticelli deck. It is gorgeous. I mean, it is like super gorgeous the way that it looks. Look at that Tower card. Wow.
We got a couple new decks, right?
Yeah, I did. But this Botticelli deck I love, and I love this Tower card because it doesn't matter which Tower card you get. Like, there is always just a great big fall. But you know what? I think that this is us truly ending those positions that just don't feel like they're in alignment or they feel like they're off. And why continue to hold on to them? Why? If it's not feeling right, just put an end to it. And because we got the Two of Swords, I'll get one clarifier on it. I just feel like getting a little clarification. We got the Seven of Pentacles reversed. I just think it's like, if you're not making any advancement, it's not a bunch of work that you want to do that you feel satisfied with. I mean, what are you doing? This is getting out of stuck energy. And you know what? When we're in stuck energy, sometimes we just hold on to things that even if it's not in alignment, it's just like, well, it's there. It keeps me together. Well, no, it really doesn't. It keeps you closed off completely from what you really want. So, this is going to be a lot of closures this week.
And
but there's openings.
As Deepak Chopra would say, the great problem you will face will be not desire, but attachment. Holding on when the flow of life wants you to let go.
Boom.
Boom.
You know, and I like him, but I kind of don't too. I'm like on the fence with him. But I do think he has some really good advice. I think I'm just, and
He's got some good words.
He's got some good words. He's just like, I don't know. People say the same thing about me. They think I'm dark. They think I'm Lucifer. They think I'm all these things. So I don't, maybe it's the glasses and the way that he conducts himself. I don't know. But people say that shit about me. So that's just a reflection on myself. We got Saturn in Capricorn, which is literally still in there in the fourth house. Ooh, These are some really rough, tough, and hard, emotionless positions that we have to take in order to get our emotions back in alignment. So we need tough emotional decisions that are going to feel stern, they're going to feel hardcore, and they're going to feel like, sometimes you have to be a little bit of a business person. You got to look at your love life like a business. Like, am I going to continue doing this love situation because it's not even love? Is it even love? It just might feel off, and it might not feel like full blown I'm going to the top of love. This is definitely going to be an intense week of emotion cutting, emotional cord cutting, and having to take authority on the emotions and how you feel. So be ready for that one. Not going to be easy. No, it's not.
Well, most things worth it in this life are not easy. So
True that. I agree with you on that one. Wow.
all right, let's get this rolling.
Let's get it rolling. Who do you think? Who do you think's going to be first?
I mean, fuck.
By the way, if you guys, we love looking at the chat. If you guys have anything in the chat, I might pull a card. Once we guys get 1,000 people, we do a reading for all the people.
We got some love for Deepak in there. We got
Capricorn first.
I was not going to guess that. I would have been wrong.
We got some Cappies. Yeah, what does this chat room have to say? Well, I'll take a little hit of my Nick. He's already dropping dice. Andrew Dice Clay style. Yo.
Yeah, it's popping off in there tonight. Jolie totally agrees with me. So I must be doing something right.
Please fix your notifications on Android for High Vibe. I want to see what you have to say. If you're on Android and you get a notification, you turn it over like this. And then when you pull it down, the notifications are wide.
And if you're on
And
Apple,
you can read the
you
whole
hit view.
thing. Just a reminder.
So how those caps looking?
Well, Capricorn
what are you
this week
feeling?
for love. It's going to be interesting. Full moon in Leo, which is ironically their sex house. Bow, wow, wow, wow.
Yo.
And then they got Uranus in the 5th house, which is, it's not squaring exactly this full moon, but it's going to make a square there. And then we got Venus moving into Aries, their 4th house. They have to get in touch with you know what? The collective reading is very similar to Capricorn's, but for them, it's like edge and passion and if they're getting that back or if they're even into what they're into anymore. Like they want more. And they've been settling. And it's going to be hard because that Venus Chiron is going to bring up some really weird emotional situations that are just feeling off. And they have to make a decision on whether or not that's what they want to continue to do with. They're in like weird emotional places with partnerships. So we'll see how that goes for them this week. Mercury in Pisces is making things even more confusing because that is their 3rd house of intellect, communication, and it's almost like they're getting lost, but they need to go with their initial drive, ambition, emotional desires, and knowing their value. Like, are they worthy of this energy in relationships that just feels off, weird, and when people ask about the relationship, it's almost like to be like, well, this is the story. It's like, oh, that's a good one, right? No. Come on, Capricorns. You know your value. We did get the 6 of Swords upright. So the universe is telling you to jump on to a new direction and let the universe take you into this space. I feel that whenever this card pops up, especially in a love reading, it is saying like, you're at the point to where it's like, you're ready to just jump in the boat and say, all right, God, take me where I need to go. It is trying to move something new into a direction. Now, if you're single out there in a Capricorn, this is a week where, you might be having to take a new journey somewhere. Maybe it's a new person to go take a new journey with and trusting them more. But definitely not to go backwards or rehash an old relationship. This is about moving on to new waters. This is about moving on to new places. And if you're in a partnership and there is some weird things, maybe you do need to take the relationship into a new direction and move it into new waters, or literally leave the relationship and move into new waters big time because there's a better place to go, that spirit will guide you there. And to, even though it's a little depressing, this card, because there is, you know, just like, oh, I ended up on this boat. She doesn't even have her arm around her kid. She's like, I'm just taking care of my fucking self. Poor kid on the boat. I always laugh at the Six of Swords. Like, what happened? The arm's not even around the kid. Like, you keep yourself warm. I keep myself warm. Like, whoa. That's because that's that kind of energy of like, I got to get on this direction and just take me there. Just take me there. The challenge card that we got is the first house. You're having issues doing what you really want. And you're having issues having the embodiment of the life that you want it to look like, especially in your relationship life. So it's almost like you could be living for somebody else's identity or being in an identity that you don't even want to be in anymore based off a relationship. And if you're single trying to get in relationships, the challenge is, does your identity like identify with this kind of person and their vibe? If it doesn't, it's going to be a challenge, you know? Like if you don't want to be around a clown and they literally are a clown, well, I don't think it's going to be that great. And I meant the literal clown. You did overall get the earth element. I think that this could be a very substantive week about changing your reality extremely. And I think that that's the most positive part about this week is this is finally going to be some major reality changes and actually physically be seen. But you have to be willing to go in the direction that the universe is pulling you towards and be willing to get over any challenges about feeling like you're guilty for doing what you want. Challenge position, first house. Like this is not an ego situation. This is a survival situation of the reality that you want in your love life. Survival. Instead of feeling so starved. So don't be so weird about what you want. Do more of what you want. There is Pluto, Saturn, and Jupiter in your sign. And I do want to say, and I forgot to say this at the beginning of the collective reading, Jupiter goes to 15 degrees, which in ancient astrology is the degree of the fall position in Western astrology and tropic astrology of Jupiter. So we are all at the worst position of Jupiter of the 12-year cycle, where everybody feels hopeless and everybody feels like they have to climb out of a fucking shitty-ass ladder. Well, guess what? We can make it through by being positive. And you know what? Maybe the universe is bringing us to the bottom of the barrel in order for us to realize at least this is what the bottom is. There's nothing but up from here. Especially for you, Capricorn, in your life. And your spiritual advice that you got, wow, you did get the Six of Pentacles upright. So, I mean, yeah, sure, this card is about making sure that you put yourself in a position to where you can actually do the things in life that you want to do, but you have to have the abundance within yourself before you can do charity work. You have to have the abundance to where you can do things to where you can even give anything. Are you in a position to where you're not giving yourself enough to where you're trying to give to a relationship, you're trying to be there. You might even try to be the all rescuer kind of person, or you're the person that's trying to hold it all together, but you have nothing left. Uh-oh. Don't be doing that no more. You got to put yourself in a position where you can even take care of yourself first before you can take care of all these other people or take care of this other person. And definitely do not get in a role, if you don't want to, about taking care of somebody or continuing to hold on to somebody else's life and their problems and their struggles, and they're not willing to give you anything back. I mean, have you turned into the Salvation Army yourself? I'll pull a clarifier on this this Six of Swords. You got two sixes, by the way, and you got the Hierophant card. Woo. You need to go in a direction that actually is more embodied spiritually with you and that gives you more empowerment in the spiritual soul of what you are, and to create a life that actually has some sort of ritual in your happiness and your love life that actually is going to empower you and make a lot more sense. I think that you are having to go in a much more spiritual road in your true spiritual path and getting out of this path in a relationship world right now that is not connected to you spiritually or making you even maybe feel like you're a little bit empty spiritually. Your dice for this week are, you did get Taurus, 11th house moon. You need to connect to new people, more people with new values. You need to connect to what feels better. Friends are a great thing, but you can't just escape through the friendship thing. I think that circles and new people or people that have been friends before that feel really good to you, maybe even try jumping onto their train and seeing what's there. But you need ultimate excitement and friendship and quality a lot more than feeling like that you're with some alien that you don't even order the same thing at McDonald's together.
Yeah, it's almost like they need to ground themselves as well, and like the appreciation of what they've been through and where they are now in their relationship with themselves and the way that they think about themselves.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great way to look at it too, is because being ungrounded, especially with not in yourself, how are you going to be in a relationship that's going to be good because it's an ungrounded situation? And if you're trying to ground through somebody else and they're not in the best place, it means, like, guess what? You're just in like Crazyville now, especially if they're a clown.
Yeah, no clowns.
Cancer's next.
Can't be wasting
Speaking
time
of clowns, no, I'm just kidding.
No.
All the cancers are like, what the fuck?
Cancers are lovely out there.
Gee, Christmas. Cancers.
Boom.
I do love my cancers, though. Well, Cancer, the moon will come into your sign this week before the full moon in Leo and oppose all this Capricorn stuff in your relationship house. The sun in Aquarius is still happening in your 8th house of depth and transformation. And there is a transformation that needs to take place for you in your love life, especially with the full moon in the 2nd house. Quality, better. Are you really getting the best that you can get? It's a lot like Gillette. The best a man can get, right? Wasn't that the slogan?
Almost sounded like a little auto-tune right there.
Oh, well, I auto-tuned myself big time because I'm a horrible singer. But, well, actually, like, meaning I did an auto-tune myself, not use the program. But, I mean, what? This is about cancers, and I'm going to talk to every Cancer, single or not. What's up here, quality-wise? Quality control check. With, by the way, Mercury, which happens to be in your 9th house, I think that the story that you've visualized of your life is going through a complete, I got to rethink this story and the visualization of how it really is. Is it fundamentally working with Mars still in the 6th house? You know, you need a functional life that still has the excitement and the quality and the big vision that you want, but staying in this restrictive state of maintaining or staying tied to relationships that aren't of the high quality that you want to is a difficult task because you're missing out on a beautiful world with Uranus and Taurus. You're missing out on the true, adventure of your life based off you have Sagittarius as your 6th house, and especially with Mars there, Cancer, because it's time for you to go explore the reality that you really want. And if you keep going backwards, especially as the moon is in Gemini at the beginning of this week, like, are you going to go backwards into like old relationships or even just like maintaining into something that you hate, that you don't want to be in? This is a bold move that you got to start making in your life. And a full moon in the 2nd house is saying that you need the best of the best. You cannot take, well, this person gives me this and it's missing a lot of that, but at least they're giving me this. No, that shit don't work no more, Cancer. Your first card for this week is the 9 of Cups reversed. It's, this might you trying to overindulge or give too much good energy to something that's not that great. Number one. This could be giving way too many positive energies to somebody or some situation in love that, you already know it's like, kind of like when Arnold Schwarzenegger takes a little bit too many steroids up his butt. It's too much steroids of positivity to something that is not that great. And I also think that this can also bring up a hopelessness sometimes, right? 9 of Cups is the ultimate. I feel joyous. I've got all these great feelings. Well, you're not missing out on joy. You're only missing out on joy if you know there's an amazing, joyous situation there and you're blocking it. Because you're giving too much joy to something that probably is not in your life, probably not giving you attention, and or it's in your life and you're not even happy with it. But you keep showering it with cookies and cakes. And Tuesday night movies or something that you think will fix it. Or stupid trying to text and put all this fluff out there when you're not getting any back. Come on, Cancer. You're not in the shitter right now. You're at an amazing position with this card saying that you can have something beautiful and joyous, but you can't also be in this denial of it because you're like, well, that doesn't exist. There's that Cancer out there. And then there's the other Cancer like, no, it's really great. I mean, he does this really crazy shit to me all the time, but it's fine. It's fine. Or I'm not really feeling a lot, but I still see him for who he is, or she, or who, or whatever. Oh, come on. Yeah, you got the 4th house. You got some issues about your roots right now. You might even have some issues about your living location or a family dynamic situation that is making this complicated. Like, we have a kid together, so I can't. Well, kids are, I'm going against what Jordan Peterson says out there, but, he says like, well, you had a kid together, so you just got to stick through the rest of your life with it. There's, I can understand that there's a lot of turmoil that comes with that. So I understand the psychological point of view. Now, I'm not a psychologist, but at the same time, people who kind of stick it together, I don't know how many kids I went to high school with that you should see their lives now where they were like, well, yeah, my family stuck it together even though they fucking hate each other. And then they have now turned into, basically they're calling me for help. Because it's like, this is a time where you need to realize like a happy mom, a happy dad, a happy parent makes a happier child. Now, also for Cancers that don't have children or anything like that, there's still some weird thing about your location. Maybe the location you live in is just not a good space for your relationship. And at the same time, you might be continuing to float something that's positive about it when it's not, especially because your foundation is just not in a good space. You need to find relationships that actually are in a location, in a better position of where you want to feel more rooted in. And that will bring you more joy because you are a Cancer, your roots are everything, but there's trouble in paradise for Cancers, meaning at home. What's going on with that home life? Overall, if you're able to deal with this, you pulled the Magic card. Beep! This is an amazing card. There's a lot of magic waiting for you when it comes to getting over any weird things about emotions too. The 4th house deals with emotion. So especially with this 9 of Cups reversed, I would say that the emotions right now are really fucked up when it comes to what you're giving too much good energy to that does not deserve it at all. And what does deserve it, given 0 to, well, when you give it to the right energy, you're going to find the best rooted emotional foundation to create magic with. You can't create magic with trying to put too much good energy into something that's not going to work, okay? Like, if somebody were to try and give me some, I don't know, some Diet Pepsi into my Sprite, I'm sorry, you're not going to make me happy. That's not magic. Not good. I don't drink caffeine, and I definitely don't drink diet soda. So I'm not going to make a magic concoction, especially because, what did we used to call them as kids when you mix a bunch of sodas? A suicide?
Yeah, I don't know. It was delicious, though.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
Magic is about combining all these great things. I don't know. Some people call them other things. Maybe put in the chat what you used to call it when you used to go to the soda machine with your friends and put like 4 different soda flavors. If you're mixing a bunch of flavors and emotions in something that you're not really interested in and you're trying to drink that every day, like, oh, it's great. There's no magic there. It's not going to happen. Wow, look at this. You got the 8 of Wands as your overall spiritual advice. You need to go to where the angels of, this is a great card, by the way. There's a lot of love trying to come your way. These are the angel wings that, or you could look at it as the actual arrows of love. But this is definitely trying to move things forward. But with this 4th house position of where you're stuck at, you're staying stuck because you're choosing to stay stuck. And it's asking for you to move forward into beautiful energy and to fly those arrows out into the world. And what are you doing? You're being stuck. And whether that's in a depressive state or you're being stuck and giving too much positivity to something that is totally not fucking got any fucking wings of arrows and flying towards the most beautiful direction ever.
Yeah, sometimes we get stuck in our own way and kind of bypass that magic that we're trying to bring into our own life. Sometimes we feel like we're not worthy or that it's passed on through and passed us by, which is not true at all. once we step back and actually assess our life and what we're doing in it, then the magic starts to flow into us.
You bring up a good point, because inside the chat, they just said some people, I think it's more of an East Coast thing. They call it swamp water. What do you do when you're in swamp water for too long? Once you get out of it, like you said, and you kind of pull yourself away in a weird way, and you're out of the swamp, you're like, oh shit, what the fuck was I doing in there?
Yep.
Like, don't be sitting in swamp water. Come on.
Get yourself out the muck. Look at that bright sky above you and go towards the light.
I'll give you a clarifier on this 9 of Cups reversed. You got the 4 of Wands. You need to go find the ultimate happy place to go celebrate about. If you're not celebrating about this could even be a marriage that you're dealing with, or maybe you think there's a marriage, but maybe it's not there, or maybe you're married and it's not as positive as you thought you could be. Why is that? We'll get the clarifier in the magic card. Ooh, the Ace of Pentacles reversed. Yeah, this is about that you're not getting the quality that you want, and that, it's not really moving forward into new energy, and you're kind of stagnant and staying in situations where the value is not truly there. You're not being valued, or you don't value it. What are you doing? This is so much stuck energy. Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh. Now you made me drop a Cancer. It's your fault that you guys are making me drop that second time.
Oh geez. We're gonna have to get on the floor. We're gonna have to move the table. But no,
all right, if Cancer, if this one goes again, this is a major issue. All right. Well, you knocked another one off, so you changed your position to 8th house, Sagittarius with Mars. No, that's Venus. Venus in the 8th of Sag? Oh! Ultimate death and transformation for the ultimate adventure of your life. Or you need to get to the bottom to research deeper in your relationship world about your true values and what is missing there to the ultimate positivity, and why is it not there. You got to get to the bottom. You got to call up. What was that show called? Cheaters. That guy from Cheaters, he's going to be like, hey, so I got this cell phone picture. Who's that's been going over there? This could also be dealing with secrets in a relationship that are going to be exposed and the truth come out. I'm just going to be honest. Or desires, or there's something missing in the sexual department that needs to be explored there. Or you're just not fully into it and you need to go explore what that situation is. I'm just putting out the truth.
Which is probably the worst situation. Maybe not the worst, but one of the worst situations if you're staying in a relationship just to be in a relationship. Or those individuals that jump from relationship to relationship just to be in a relationship, when you don't actually give yourself time to process why that last one ended, or give yourself time to process what it is about you that is enabling all these people to come in and out of your life, without sticking. Sometimes we got to take a step back and actually process what we're doing and why these issues are happening to us over and over and over.
Because doing it over and over and over again, it just beats you down.
Yeah, and you're not actually learning anything from it. If you just jump into a new relationship from one person to the next, you're not actually processing what these issues are. Unless you just can't be alone, and that's a whole nother bag. But
did you ever see Requiem for a Dream?
Yes, many times.
Cancers, go watch that movie. But instead of it being about drugs or diet pills, think about it as a relationship. Aries.
Damn.
I think that movie about what you just brought out, about going through the same thing over and over again, it's like, okay, now the old lady's like going to continue to take her diet pills and still think she's going on the show. And even though it's not happening, to the point to where she's running down there like, I'm supposed to be on the show. And then the next thing you know, she's in electric shock therapy. Ah! And then one of the Wayans brothers, I forgot which one it was, doesn't end up too good for him. I want to ask you the question. Does it end up better for Jared Leto, who loses his arm, one of the Wayans brothers who ends up in jail down in the South, the mother who ends up in shock therapy in a mental institution, or Jennifer, what was her name? She was hot. Jennifer Connelly. Who, she was hot. In that movie, she was kind of hot too, especially at the beginning. And then she kind of turned into the creepy heroin addict. But at the end, where she has to go through a gangbang But she does end up on a bed with so much cash that she's so enamored in the cash that she's all in her bed, all like curled up in the cash, like, but you know the crazy shit she has to do to get that money. Who would you pick? 4 choices. What would you pick at the end?
I'm going with Jennifer.
So you
At least you still got all your limbs. You're not getting electroshock to the brain. You're not in the jail in the deep south. And she's got a wad of cash. And, you know, if she wants to, she can still change her life for the better.
I would have to agree. But you do got to get gangbanged for cash.
Well, I mean, if you look at the movie, there's a bunch of small dudes in that room. So, you know.
What do you mean? Do you remember the guy
There's the one big dude. There's the one big dude. So that's about it.
All right, I'm just thinking. Or maybe he just had like a weird complex of trying to be the male dominant dude in that movie.
Yeah, you just like to watch.
Oh my God.
Or he's doing a bunch of H and you probably can't get it up anyway. So
people are telling me I'm losing it. It's more like I'm on it right now. Aries. There actually might be a little bit of relief here for Aries finally. I know that the last reading was some relief, but I think that this is some major relief. Venus comes into your sign. Even though Chiron's there, hey, you got to take what you're going to take. Venus in your sign definitely is going to bring you finally some understanding and direction of, you know, what you want, relationship. And it's going to bring the great attraction to you, especially this weekend with that full moon in Leo in your romantic house with Venus in your sign. Ooh la la, Lady in the Tramp, and Mars here that's going to be coming up to the galactic center more and more and more. So, in Sag, there's going to be a triple fire energy that we got coming this week. So, guess what? This is a time for Aries to finally start to find out, why has love been weird? Well, the groups you associate with, 1, to look at. 2, are they spiritual or not? There's been so much going on, and Mercury and Pisces in your 12th house is saying like, focus in the spiritual realm. Don't get lost in this 11th house shit. What seems exciting or magical or whatever, but it really is not spiritual and it's not connected in the bridge point. What's the bridge point between you as an Aries and your 11th house is the spiritual house. So the people you hang out with and the life you want is either connected from spirituality or complete delusion or unconsciousness, and that's the way that your life ends always up. So this love energy is trying to come in this week with the full moon in Leo, and well, Mars in the 9th house is saying that, you know what, your beliefs are important, but an adventure is good, but not an adventure of the unconscious, as it's been squaring all this Neptune and Venus energy in Pisces. Don't go into an unconscious adventure. Go into a conscious adventure that you want in your life based upon the true love you want and the real energy spiritually that you know you're all about. I think this is going to be a very good shift for Aries in their love lives this week. First card that we got is the Knight of Pentacles. So it's good. Things are finally starting to build up in your life in a better position slowly. So this is not a radical, holy shit, it's going fast, but you know, like any good thing, it's best when there's a buildup. So there's definitely a slower buildup, but it's also you getting the confidence now and starting to see the value that you're walking towards in your life, that you're stepping forward into. And you know what? Even though a knight, they're always horsed and they always have this ability to have armor on. So there's a little bit of, you know, protecting yourself and talking about, you know, slurpy or muddied water. There's a little bit of the Knight of Pentacles. It's a little bit like, I'm kind of just getting going here. But this energy gives you confidence about your self-worth slowly building. And by the end of this week, I think you're going to really feel it, especially when we look at these cards. But let's see what your challenge is. Your challenge this week is the fire element of desire. So I think that, you know, this could be 2 things. 1, you're missing desire. Or 2, the challenge is you're going for a desirable situation that isn't connected to your values. So it's like, you know, ooh, well, I mean, I'll tap it, but I know it's not the best for me to get tapped by. So I think that it's important for you to really pay attention to where you put your desire energy and put that desire energy into an energy that values you, that sees you fully, but also is not to take from you, but to give as well. So I think that this is a time for you where, sure, you might feel like desire might be off. It's the fire element. 37 card. That's interesting. It equals a 1. It's about the desire that you want, not the desire that, you know, you might want, but you're not really getting what you want, if that makes sense. It's just kind of like temporary. You want a long lasting, especially with the Knight of Pentacles here. And so desire is maybe feeling a little bit off or trying to find people with desire, but it's about looking at the quality of the person, looking at the quality of the relationship you might be in and seeing if it's moving towards something that's positive. And even though it might be slower than an Aries wants, it's like you kind of want that because you want something that's sustainable. Because Venus, remember, in Aries does not like to be there because you guys are all really fast in and then it could lose its passion quick. So I would be paying attention to that. Like you want something that's more sustainable and that actually is also valuing you the most. You got the divine masculine as your overall. So now being an Aries, of course, there is that divine masculine quality to you. But I think when it comes to relationships in your life, it's like, I think that for yourself, one, I think that there's parts of you that, there's two ways to look at this. Maybe there's a divine masculine energy that's going to come towards you. And I think that this is what that you need to learn to accept to find the desire, because maybe you're trying to divine masculinely, especially if we get a challenge as the fire, that's a divine masculine. I think that the challenge is you, especially with this pulling as your overall here, is like, let the divine masculine come to you and put that down a little bit in accepting. Knight of Pentacles is definitely moving towards something slowly and accepting the good things. And I think that this is definitely a time for you to maybe put down the forcefulness or forcing situations so much and allow things to come in. Now, at the same token, every Aries, male or female, is in a position where they like that masculine energy in that role. But I think that you've been playing that role to where it's not really creating what you want to receive what you want. So it's time to receive more and time to accept more. Your spiritual advice card over all this that we got, we did get the 5 of Pentacles reversed. So the good news about this card reversed is you are pulling out a feeling like you have been in a place where you've been just getting screwed over, that you've just been feeling like you're just kind of like handicapped spiritually, that you've been just kind of like given the short end of the stick. That's being pulled out. But I think that you have to remember the way that gets pulled out is by you not being obsessed with the fire and the passion and when it's showing up, how it's going to be this huge passionate thing that you're the one doing. Because I think that you have limped yourself too much by trying to push for things too hard and trying to explore all these situations too much. It's like, back off. You're wounding yourself. You're bashing your head into the wall. That's going to hurt. You know what I mean?
It's easy to lose your way when you kind of let that fire within kind of consume you. Aries can get that red in their eyes and just kind of go for the goal, even though it might not be in their best favor to actually go for it. But hey, that's a lesson that we all got to learn.
Yeah. They got the first house Saturn in Libra. Slow your roll about how you take action in relationships and how you're identifying them. You need to make sure that you're making smart choices here, balanced choices and not unbalanced, and not being so focused on, well, look at this person. It's like Saturns are like, hold up. Let's take a look at this. Let's see if they're really that good. Take your time. Weigh it out. Hire a lawyer. A spiritual lawyer that's in your soul. Let your guides be your lawyers. Like, are you really sure you're about to enter into this negotiation and deal of this relationship situation? Take some time. Not like the whole world, but just a moment and go, am I the one taking action into this? Like, maybe it's time for you to take a little bit step back to watch how much faster things will go forward.
Take a step back. Well, it's like, how many situations have you been in when you're up a little too close, and you get a little jaded or your view gets a little slighted because you can't see the whole big picture as to what's going on actually around you. And you end up missing some greatness that was there waiting just right around the corner for you.
We're going to pull a clarifier for Aries when it comes to this Nine of Pentacles. And they got the High Priestess reversed. Again, your intuition is telling you to go into situations that you shouldn't go into, and you're going into them anyway. Stop doing that shit.
Stop it.
Stop it.
Knock that shit off.
Stop it.
Ain't got no time for that.
Stop it.
No time. Scorpio.
Stop. I was thinking, do I know a song that has "stop" in it? But I don't.
Stop, drop,
Sages.
and roll. Sag.
I'm trying to think, do I have a song that has stop? Stop, collaborate, and listen.
Ice is back with a brand new edition.
See? There we go.
I will just speak.
That's a
into the
Libra,
mic.
by the way.
Who?
Will Smith.
Vanilla Ice? It's not Will Smith.
Or who is that again?
Vanilla
Who's
Ice.
Who's that?
Vanilla Ice.
Vanilla Ice. Well, sorry, Will Smith. You and Vanilla Ice.
Jesus.
What's the real difference?
I don't know a lot.
No, I was going to say music-wise.
I don't know. Will Smith gets jiggy with it.
I know. I'm just saying that, like, you know, actually maybe Will Smith style by Vanilla Ice a little bit.
Yeah, we got Stop in the Name of Love.
I don't know why I thought that was Will Smith. What is Vanilla Ice? He seems like a,
What do you mean, what is he?
like sign-wise, he seems like a Aries.
Well,
Let's see.
let me see.
We're almost at 1,000 people. We're only 15 people away, and then we're doing a reading for the whole entire crowd.
Oh, Vanilla Ice. Ain't no party like a Scorpio party, baby.
All right. So I knew he had a Mars energy to him.
October 31st, 1960.
Oh, he's a Halloween Scorpio.
He's a fucking wild one.
Vanilla Ice as a Scorpio. It was not very vanilla, and it was not very much ice.
He's very vanilla. He's a white dude.
Yes, but I'm saying his energy was not very vanilla.
Now he had that shaved designs into the side
What was
of his
that? Didn't he
head.
have a reality show? Remember, it was like 10 years ago on like Weird Network where he was like flipping houses or
He
something.
still does, I think. Yeah, he like buys and remodels houses, and
Yeah.
he's doing that. He's working with his hands. I'm sure
Yeah, I
we could
remember
book
that.
him. Maybe we'll book him for the next event here.
We should hire Vanilla Ice.
That'd be dope.
Homeboy should come on.
That'd be dope.
All right, Sages.
Sag. Boom.
Sag. Well, Sag, this is another back-to-back fire signs. This is a full moon in Leo, so this is about your big doorways. Are you going to take them in love? Because the 9th house is your house, and this is a full moon in Leo, and with the sun in your 3rd house, this is about your environment and the doors to get out or to move, continue to stay in. Like this is your big doorway. Now, we are going to have, at the same token, Venus move into your 5th house of love with Chiron. So this is a big doorway for you about love. This is your biggest doorway you've had in a long time about love. It almost feels like you've been kind of thinking it was a doorway here and then you didn't take it or whatever. But this is either expanding the love that you've been working on and you feel great about it and you're just going to go expand it to a new horizon, or this is finally your doorway that you can get the fuck out. Especially when it comes to this Mercury and Pisces in your 4th house. Confusing emotions that you're trying to figure out. Well, they're not confusing. You've been working on this a long time with Neptune here. That if it feels off emotionally and it just is like so crazy, Mercury's going to be like, oh, look at all this stuff. We got a lot to look around here emotionally. And you're going to be like, ah! It's like, well, time to look at a bigger picture about things. Time to maybe expand the understanding of it all. And with Venus and Chiron, yeah, there is something to say. If your love life has had some really weird situations go on, or if you're in a weird love situation, like, well, it reminds me of like people, it's like, well, we live together, but he lives up on the roof and I live down on the basement. It's like, what the fuck? You know what I mean?
What the hell, Bobby?
Especially when you're dealing with home life stuff with Mercury and Neptune, and you're dealing with Venus and Chiron in the 5th house, and then you're dealing with a full moon in the 9th, like, maybe this isn't the right story to be in. This is about the story that you want to create. You're a storyteller, Sag. Your life, believe it or not, especially believe it or not is a Sag story. Believe it or not is the story you write yourself. And the one that you're in, is this what you want to keep writing in the fucking book? That the never-ending story that a little kid's going to read one day fucking and start reading this shit? There's no Atreyu. There's no fucking Falcor. It's like you in some fucking fucked up situation.
On that note, we did hit 1,000.
We'll do a reading for those 1,000 here in a second. We're riled up with these Sages, and they got the 4 swords reversed. You cannot sleep on this shit no more. Maybe you're not getting enough rest because this relationship is restless. You're in a restless relationship. Or you're dealing with somebody as well who maybe you just need to take some time to meditate on this. But also it's kind of like one of those times where I feel like Four of Swords reversed is a little bit like, maybe you've meditated on this way too long and it's making you restless now. And you're like, what the fuck am I going to do here? It's like, you already know. You already know. Your challenge card that you got is the Sun card. You are not living in your true soul and spirit. Ooh. I think this one's hard. I said some stuff last week about Sagittarius that upset a lot of people. So I'm apologetic if I upset Sagittarius last week. But there's a little bit of confirmation here. I mean, you got your challenge card is the Sun card, the first card in the Astro Black Moon astrology card deck. You're not living in your true soul because you are in situations that you have continued to meditate. Okay, think about a crock pot. And let's throw in some, what are we throwing in, Craig, in the crock pot?
We're going to throw in some onions. We're going to throw in some mushrooms. Mm-hmm. We're going to throw in a little organic ground beef.
Okay.
We're going to throw in some smoked sausage.
All right. How about a little Sprite too?
No, not throwing Sprite in there.
We're
keeping this all organic.
Just for a little flavor.
Some shallots.
Okay. So all this has been bubbling. Now imagine if the crock pot's been on for years and you never opened the lid. And then it was unplugged because there was a power outage in that 2 years. That's what you've been stewing on? Would you eat that, Craig? After crock potted for 2 years, and at some point, you don't know when, the electricity got unplugged, and that thing's been just all sitting under there. And do you think there's mold or crazy shit underneath that thing?
I would say yes, there's definitely mold.
All right.
That ground beef may or may not come back to haunt us all.
Yeah, if we thought the coronavirus is bad, the Sag crock pot virus is fucking rolling around soon.
Would you eat it though after you came back from living through the coronavirus and you lived through that zombie apocalypse and all there was to eat was that not so fresh organic stew that you'd been cooking? Then would you eat that?
No, I'll eat my survival kit food.
It's already gone. It's all gone.
I will eat the leather off of a fucking belt first.
Interesting.
Then that. Because that's what's been overstewed on. It's not even what you identify with. It's almost like, this might be a weird way to look at it with the challenge. Your identity issue is what you have continued to stew in that is not you. So it's almost caked all over yourself. It's pretty deep. It's almost like you're becoming somebody else's energy that's not yourself. And your overall, if you get out of this weird shit, is the fire element. Woo!
Woo. Woohoo.
Sagittarius have a huge opportunity this week. Of course, the universe has always good luck for Sagittarius when they take the door. The scary thing about being a Sag is that you must continue to open up doorways, and nobody ever understands that. They think that Sagittarius are supposed to be in the same position, in the same place. They're the adventurer. They're a centaur. They got all these fucking hind legs and this huge horse, half horse, and then they've got this huge fucking human body that's like fucking like, let's go. Like, what the fuck? It's like, did you lose your aim? And are you aiming down at that crock pot? And you're like, this is what I am. I've been stewing in this thing. I can't get out of this. It's like, pop the lid off, jump out, brush it off with the fire of passion of what you really are in your life, of your true soul. And you got nothing to lose. And your spiritual advice card is, oh, wow, we got the death card. Boom. And we got the Botticelli death card.
Boom.
It's a little bit like, got some music in the background, like,
boom, baby.
This is either the death of your soul or the revival of your soul, Sag, this week. This is some intense shit. We'll get a clarification on what you're continuing to stew on and meditate and process way too much You pulled the Knight of Wands reversed. Or sorry, yeah, it's the King of Wands reversed. Oh my God. Feeling like a fool in love, or giving way too much credence to somebody who you think has power that has no power. I'll give you another clarifier here when it comes to the fire.
Another.
Well, come on. They got death card on their soul.
That's good. You need the death and rebirth of yourself.
They got the 5 of Cups. So, it's like, yes, it's hard, but it's not the end ball game. The end ball game is if you don't make it to this place and you put a death to your soul by identifying with this crazy situation, you're still all weird and it doesn't make any sense. Listen to this whole Sag reading. There's a lot there. They got the 7th house with Saturn and Sag. Pfft. Time to make some big decisions about your hopes and dreams and about the outcome of your life. Make choices about your relationships. That's what opens up doorways to positive luck. But Saturn will restrict that good luck if the relationship is not in true integrity and true alignment with who you are and your individual self. And especially if it's not a positive relationship or it's not really going anywhere. When you talked about attachment earlier from Deepak Chopra, Sludge Boy.
Deepak.
This is a moment of where is there so much attachment that is now an attachment that maybe you don't even know. You're wearing the Lady Gaga meat suit of it.
I got one for you.
Please.
And everybody in the chat, you can answer this as well. Would you rather be a centaur, straight up, so you got the horse legs and everything, the body of a human, but you could only speak in horse language, whatever that is? Or would you rather have the legs of a human, the head of a horse, but you could speak English or French or, anything like that?
I would pick the centaur body with the human body, and because I could fuck like a horse. You can only
speak in horse.
Speak like a horse, but you wouldn't have to hear anything I had to say. You have a big old horse's ding dong too.
Yeah, but you wouldn't be able to do much with that.
Hey, sometimes you don't have to say shit. There's sign language. There's, you could speak as a horse. I don't know how a horse.
Exactly.
And all the ladies like horses anyways. They're always like, look at this horse. It's so beautiful. They like to ride horses too.
Seen some people want some horse heads.
Yeah, we got 1,000 people in there, right? Oh yeah, we're at 1,000. So
yep. I
want you to all out there in the 1,000 people land that are watching right now here. Envision the person or the relationship situation, or if you're single, of what you're looking for, or what you're visualizing in that life. And we're going to do a quick little reading on you and give you the answer to that question. So especially this works a lot better if it's person specific. All right. Wheel of Fortune card reversed. So this is, things have kind of turned in a direction that you don't know where it's turning, or it didn't turn the way that you thought it was going to turn. It also could feel like that maybe you've run into a situation of bad luck with this person, but it's still a Wheel of Fortune card. So there is still this feeling that there is still opportunity here and so forth. The challenge about this situation, because it's turning in a weird direction, is the 8th house. 8th house has to deal with secrets, or you've been uncovered some information, or somebody's holding information, or you're in a space where you don't know if it's beginning or ending or where you're at. You're lost in where you're at. You're lost in where it's kind of like led on. And, you've kind of moved into this weird position to where it's like, you're the one here to make the call. I think that it's not so much about whether or not outside energies are going to make the call. Like, you need to make the call whether if you're going to stay on this space, or are you going to keep waiting for it to turn. Your overall outcome for this is the boundaries card. So you need to understand the boundaries and put the boundaries out there. And with the tiger being there, you gotta speak what you want it to be. I think that part of it is that you're waiting for the other party, or you're waiting for the other situation to, especially if somebody lied to you or something, you got to put boundaries up. And you got to also, show your voice here. You got to show what you want. You got to define what you want and see if that's going to come. I'm not going to use this as a spiritual advice. We'll do this as an overall outcome. The outcome of all this is, wow, the Ace of Cups upright. So I think by speaking your truth, I think by being honest, and I think by defining what it is that you want, that you'll be able to revive the emotional position and start from a fresh new place. And they'll be able to understand that position, and you'll be able to understand that. And it's pretty much a fresh new slate, so you can see what's there. I'll pull a card for this Wheel of Fortune and why it turned this weird direction. You did pull, wow, the High Priestess. It was like you kind of knew it was going to go this way the whole time. Your guides were telling you, Spirit was going to you. So it's not actually a surprise to you. You knew it the whole time. And when it comes to the boundaries, the issue was, well, you got the Magician card, that you were letting your own magic down, that you were letting an energy of this person or this situation take you down, and you knew it the whole time. And so you can't be all weird about it, but now you got to replace that energy by stepping into the energy that you truly are and seeing if it will truly revive into a better place, and seeing if they'll accept that. And maybe there's situations that will be understood that maybe they were in a similar position and it was a reflection on that. But this could lead to a better situation if all the air is cleared and you take initiative instead of waiting for things to just turn themselves into some weird situation of waiting. Again, another thing with the collective, waiting.
You can't be rushing it. We cannot be rushing into
Well, I don't think
situations.
we shouldn't be rushing, but I think also we shouldn't be waiting for somebody to just show up with the way we want them to. We gotta, in this situation, what I just did for the collective of who to focus on, I'm like, whatever that person is, whoever you were focusing on, that was the actions to take. Like, you got to set the boundaries. You got to say what you want here. And, you knew the whole time it would turn to this weird direction.
What is that?
Libra.
Oh, those lovely Libras.
Lovely, lovely Libras. What was an old term that used to be not lovely, lovely, but it was, what was it? What was the hippos one?
Hungry, hungry hippos.
Hungry, hungry hippos. If you had to pick a zodiac sign, Craig, out of all 12, who would relate to the hippo the most? The hippo. Potamus.
I relate to the hippo the most. Fucking Taurus?
That was a good one. I was thinking that, but they also go into the water.
That they do.
So I was going to give it to Pisces. Well, maybe Scorpio.
Nah. I mean,
Maybe,
I don't know.
no, you know what it is?
Hippos are pretty ferocious.
That's what I'm saying. Well, that's why I put it Scorpio. Maybe it's a Scorpio with a Taurus rising.
Right.
With like a moon in...
Gemini.
Yeah, because you really don't know what the fuck they are.
I don't know. Hippos kill more people over in Africa every year than the lions and the crocs.
So definitely no Leo, and well, maybe, crocs are more Scorpio.
Crocs.
Maybe they're a Cancer with a Taurus rising with a moon in Scorpio. Anyway, Libra. Lovely, lovely Libra.
Lovely. The loveliest of all the Libras.
Libra's full moon in Leo is actually your friendship house. So, that's the whole flip part about being a Libra, is every zodiac sign is flipped for you. But, this is a time for you to realize the world and your love life, and where is there connection and where is there disconnection. Either you're disconnected from your love life and you're not connecting to people to bring that in, or your love life is starting to meet the world, and is it really in alignment with there's adjustments needing to be made. Mercury's now in Pisces, which happens to do with your 6th house. Is the reality making sense? Maybe there's things in the reality in your love life if you're in a relationship, or if you're dating somebody right now, it's like, oh, how am I going to make this all work? Their schedule, my schedule, or that's the way they live their life, or they eat this and I eat that. Like, is that really the right thing? And So it's a little bit confusing, but I think that a lot of it is about trying to have you assert into the understanding of the world that you want to be in for your happiness and love. And especially that we're going to see Venus come into Aries, your relationship sign, with Chiron this week. I think that it's definitely you having to heal a deep relationship situation in your own self about how you relate and how you look at it with the world view and how you look at it with your happiness. And it's going to bring up something weird. And it's the weird energy in that you are dealing with relationships, feeling like either A, you're in a relationship with somebody that you're like, you know what? I never thought I would be with somebody like this. How the fuck did I end up here? Or why have I not in relationships? What am I doing? Why have I cut myself off so much? There's something that you have to get to the bottom of about how you think of the world and love and relationships. And if you're in one, if it fits in the life and the world that you're in, and the adjustments that might need to be made, or the kaboot. First card for the Libra are the Queen of Cups reversed. So there's definitely some insecurity about feeling that you're being nurtured emotionally, partner-wise, or that there's an emotion that's missing, or you're just feeling a little uncomfortable in the love world right now. Might be that the world or the relationship, you know, sure, maybe there's a lot of great things, but there's something missing emotionally. I've been saying this astrologically for a while for Libras, that there's been something a little bit off here. But I think that this is whether or not you're comfortable with emotions. Maybe you're uncomfortable. Maybe there's emotions this week that come up that you're uncomfortable with that you need to get a grip on.
Get a grip. Get to
Challenge position that we got is the Capricorn card. So this is, again, control issues. And this is also control issues of how that you want to feel emotion. So it's like, Libra, you're over-controlling your life to be a certain way with relationships emotionally, to only keep it in the zones that you want to keep it in. But you know what? It might disrupt your partner. They might be looking at you like, what the fuck are you blocking? Or this could also be, Libra, with Capricorn here, like maybe there's a very big issue here with trying to make decisions that you're having an issue with about an uncomfortable situation that you're like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do, which is a typical Libra thing to come into. But the challenge is this best for your long term? To continue this way spiritually, or to continue this partnership because it's not really in alignment with your long-term goals or where you're going? Or they might just be, you might be dealing with a controlling person themselves or a person that is lacking emotion, and that is why, and they're lacking the emotions in the level that you want to have. That's a very big possibility here. You got safe travel as your overall. So no matter what choice you pick, number one, you do need to deal with whatever the uncomfortable emotional position is, and you feeling that you're not being nurtured or you're not feeling safe within yourself. It's safe for you to make a choice and to actually put into action the plans or the definition of what you want things to look like, and not be afraid to do that. Remember, Capricorn is also your fourth house, which there's a lot of planets in Capricorn: Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto. So there's a lot of issues about the emotional world itself, and that's a challenge. And you pulled the Queen of Cups reversed. We will pull your spiritual advice card, and we did get, wow, Seven of Pentacles reversed. So it does feel like maybe you've been working a lot on this and you're not seeing any return in investment. You know, there's something about that Seven of Pentacles. You put in all this work, you do all this stuff, and at least there's this moment of, oh, okay, I got it all done. You know, it's like when you do housework at the lawn when you're young, or maybe you still do it, and you're like, even though you did, it was a lot of work, you're like, you look back and you're like, oh, that's clean, that feels good. But with the reverse, it's almost like, man, I did all this shit and it doesn't look good. Like, what the fuck did I just waste all my time doing? Well, I think that, there's something about you, where does the buck stop? Where does the buck stop in your life with the disconnection about some sort of deep emotional situation that you're blocking or that you're not dealing with? To get to the clarity of what the uncomfortable emotional situation is, you did pull the Ace of Swords upright. It's like, I think that, it's like you're very clear in a direction that you want in your life, but you're afraid to deal with the communication emotionally and openly about it, that there is something that you see very clearly. You're ready for this to be in your life. Maybe you're in a relationship. Maybe you have something to finally say and you finally understand what to say, but the emotions are really tough for you to say it. And you just need to not be afraid to say it. You're going to be safe. You're going to be okay. And why are you going to be safe? Well, you did pull the Eight of Cups reversed. You're going to be safe because even though it might feel like, I'm going to have to move on or something, and even if you do, there's something that's saying that you can't move on till you at least hash the situation out. So it's almost like you might be feeling like you're out the door, or maybe you just have not been in a relationship and you've been so far out the door and the universe is telling you to come back and you're safe to do that. Either or, it's safe by just doing this. And I think that the final outcome will be based on if you feel like it's a lot of work with, is it worth this work? Is it worth all this energy in the end? Is a big question for you. Especially if you're just in total blockage of relationship. Is it worth all this work? But I think that if you're in a partnership, it's like, is this really worth the work? You're very clear on what you want and what is off emotionally, and why aren't you saying anything about it? You did get the South Node in Gemini in the 9th house. This is not a time for you to go into some sort of, oh, actually, yeah, that's the 9th, or is it the 6th? No, it's the 9th, yeah. Wow, what a weird, this is flipped. So that would be North Node in Sag in the 3rd. It would be like, it's time for you to understand that you need to be in an environment that feels open, that feels that you can be open, instead of closing yourself off in an environment where you're unable to really express your true beliefs, your true vision of this stuff. And it almost might feel like you're kind of got yourself in a box here that's impossible. There's no way, logical way to actually expand your life. Like, no. Like, this is the way it is. There's no way out. Yeah, there's a lot of other ways to deal with the situation. There's a lot of other ways for the relationship to go. There's a lot of other ways that you can go. There's a lot of other ways that relationships could work out in your life. But it's like, you're not seeing that. It's time to see that. It's time to believe again and stop analyzing everything in such a way, because you are not speaking it out, you are not expressing it out, and you're holding it all in.
You got to be realistic with the goals that you're setting with your partner too. Be realistic with the goals that you set with yourself. And if you're able to attain that and able to give the love that your partner needs. And if not, just be truthful with them, and it might be time to walk away. Or run. One of the two.
Libras are very graceful in how they walk out of your life. They don't just walk out the door. They usually say, like, everything's fine. They leave as everything's normal. So you never see them run.
Yeah. Well, it depends maybe if they got a Scorpio rising.
Awkward. I mean, I have seen a Libra run before, but, you know, it's usually when they get caught in some weird, crazy shit, and then they're in denial. So then they play the denial or victim card and run. And you're like, okay. But the ones that you don't catch in that, like if they're out, they're not going to, usually they won't tell you to your face. The Libra's not going to walk up to you and be like, hey, so listen, I think this thing's done. You know, it's usually like, it's like, what the fuck, where were you? And then you're like, you're with that person now? You know, like, what the fuck? Some Libra, I don't know, maybe Libra men are different than Libra women. And I think that happens in all signs. But I've noticed that Libras, because they deal with their 12th house in Virgo, it's like, that's the one place that they like to avoid is the reality of it all. So it's like, you don't see them deal with the reality stuff really well. And they can also kind of create their own weird version of things. This is my version of how it went. It's like, what? Like, if there was a court full of people here, they wouldn't say that shit. And you're a judge. That's why there's a jury to check on the judge. You know what I mean?
I do. That resonates.
Damn, that's deep astrology.
Which is tomorrow, by the way.
All right.
And if you want to watch in your entirety, we got this awesome sale going on right now. Bam. Look at that.
Stay focused through chaotic distractions. Trying to point at it the right way, but I guess it's that way.
There we go.
And I swear I'm not a chaotic distraction. There
Chaotic,
are crazier
yes.
chaotic distractions out there than Craig or I. Okay. Aquarius. Full moon in your relationship house. The one sign getting the full moon in their relationship house for this month is the Aquarians. Now, happy birthday, by the way, Aquarius. So full moon in your relationship house. This is coming up, whether you want to deal with it or not. How happy are you when it comes to relationships in general? But I think with Mercury now in your second house, this is about checking your self-worth, checking about, you know, what's working and what's not here. There might be some confusion. There might be also some feeling that you're not good enough. So get out of that shit for those Aquarians out there if they're single. And ones that are in relationships, it might be like, is this really worth my time and energy? Especially with Uranus that's woke up. And remember, all the planets are still direct. So this is in your fourth house of emotions. There's a lot of weird emotional shit for Aquarians ever since Uranus went into Taurus in 2018. And it's been slowly building to finally in 2020, it's nonstop Uranus and Taurus. So, and we're going to be going through this for a long more time, 6 more years. So,
long time.
I think it's an important time for Aquarians to realize also with all this 12th house shit going on and with Mars in their 11th, like there's a lot of people out there in the world and a lot of awesome relationships. Don't give up hope, but also don't lock yourself away with all this 12th house into emotional relationship situations that are lacking the excitement in the world that you want to be in. Could be a little dramatic this week with a full moon there, and especially with Venus moving in your third house, it's like, you know, it's like your mind trying to understand how to feel better and how to communicate what you want, but it's hard to do that, I think, with Chiron there. It might, and especially with Mercury in your second house, of like trying to, I think that there's communication issues on what you feel that your values are and what you need and what's not being received, but I feel at the same time, it's like a double check in yourself. Are you giving that same energy out as well? Uh-oh. 7 of Swords upright. Ugh. Yeah, well, all right, Aquarius, I know it's your birthday, but I cannot deny when a creepy card pulls up, and especially in a love reading, there's a lot of shenanigans going on around here. Whether A, you're feeling like somebody is holding something from you, and maybe that's going to bring up some of the drama, like maybe they're holding a secret, or maybe you're holding a secret, or maybe you're involved in a really weird secret yourself with, who knows, or you're feeling like somebody has done something to you and that you don't know why, and you're trying to figure it out, but there's definitely a lot of undercurrent shenanigans or things that need to come to the surface that you're trying to figure out. Maybe you just are like, I don't know what the hell's going on. There's a lot of creepy questions here, or you might be dealing with somebody who's not being completely honest with you. And at the same time, if this is on you, maybe you're doing shenanigans in a place where it's like, especially you do have 3 planets in the 12th house right now. Like almost like your morals and values are being questioned here about how you hold everybody to this one space. But what if you're doing it yourself now this week? Or you have been and now you're finally becoming aware of that this week. Aquarius, why did you pull this card? We're going to do a clarifier here in a minute, but let's see your challenge first. The North Node. Your life's purpose is a challenge. Are you really on the right track in your life right now? You might feel like you're not, but maybe you are because this is a challenge. You realize that you are, but you don't need to do or sacrifice or do crazy shit to stay on your path. Or if you're dealing with somebody, especially romantic-wise, I don't know why I'm picking this up, like to advance yourself in your life, that's some shady shit. That's some Weinstein shit. Don't advance your life through doing shenanigans. Or you could be dealing with that you feel like this is not the path that you want to be on in your life right now. And you feel that it's just a shenanigan situation. You just feel like it's like you're not being brought into all the information and you're like, what the fuck? I'm just having to deal with all this crazy shit all the time. And that might be making you happy. Oh man, your outcome is the meditate card that's trying to get out of being stuck and tied down. I think that this is definitely a time for you to really process just what the fuck you're doing in relationships, because there's a lot of shenanigans here. There's a lot of weird cards, and there's a challenge here that the North Node Do not, or this is choosing like a partner, or if you're dating, choosing somebody that is just not on your life purpose, that is wanting to use you and is holding you in a place to where they're not revealing their real intention, and you can feel that they're trying to trap or control you and use some sort of, especially when North Node is in that challenge. I don't know why I'm getting this. They're using that like, I have the path to your life. It's like, nobody does but yourself. So process that. And if you're feeling like you're off in your life, well, it's probably due to the fact that you're ready to do something different, wild, and crazy because you are an Aquarius. And I don't think it's going to be easy to keep it under wraps. Your spiritual advice card over that North Node is, you did get the 7 of Wands reversed. So it's like, you're not really ready to fight. You're over fighting for something. You're over it. You're over fighting for somebody. You're feeling like there's not much energy to give left to somebody this week. But maybe you need to meditate on this a little bit longer and see why that is. But if you're not really feeling a purpose behind it, and a 7 of Wands is stand strong. Like, it doesn't matter what the criticism is. Like, I fucking will fight for this love, bitch. Like, you know, like, trust me. Like, it's a little bit like that Tonic song. Like, you know, the way that she loves me. So, like, it don't matter, because the way that she loves me is just the way she loves me. And that's, you know, you'll never understand that shit. But when it's reversed, it's like, turn that song off. Like, you don't understand why I don't like this, you know? But let's see, what's the clarifying card on this really weird 7 of Swords? I know it does get a little bad rap. It does get a bad rap. It does deal with shady energy. It does deal with secrets. It does deal with even people manipulating or even doing weird shit and taking. And you did get the Knight of Swords. Either A, somebody's trying to swoop in really quick and they are very good salesmen, but they're not selling the right goods. Or B, you are selling yourself on doing some crazy situation romantically just because you don't feel satisfied anymore, and you're willing to convince yourself. And this is fast too. Knight of Swords is fast. It's the fastest out of the whole deck. Like, this it's just I'm going in. But is that the smartest thing for you? This is like Aquariuses when they bail. See, you don't see Aquariuses run. They're already in the spaceship on another dimension when they're gone. And I almost feel like nobody was predicting you to do this stuff this week. You did pull the Chariot card reversed over that Meditate card. You need to think before you run, and you need to think before you jump into something really quick. You got Virgo, Saturn, 9th house. I think that you need to have a reality check about some of these dreams, hopes, and beliefs, because that, is it really going to make sense for your reality? And if you're trying to advance your life through a situation or a relationship or person, like, I think that the hopes of that is like not meeting the expectations that you even have, and would be asking you to do something unhealthy that is not as positive as you think it is. And you need to see how this is going to affect your health about what you are trying to open. You're trying to open a very, very small door that's already hard to open with so much hope. And I'm sorry to say that you can blow and huff as much as you want on this door, but it ain't going to open that way, that easy.
Yeah, I like how you said that they almost need a reality check. You know, so they need to be honest with the people that they're surrounding themselves with and see, is that a healthy situation? You know, is it going to better your life? Is it going to let your heart actually sing the notes that it wants to? You know, sometimes we get projected with this idea of someone that we have in our life, and we kind of build them up to who we want them to be, when all real life, they can be a complete piece of shit, and we're just lying to ourselves.
So it reminds me of, like, let's say, because I mean, you and I have lived in California our whole lives, and I could say, and I don't know, I don't want to speak to you, but I'm sure you've seen it many times, especially when we were younger in our 20s and we were young studs. There were married women that would just out of nowhere pull their ring off and come up to you when you were a young stud at the bar and just like make out with you. And then you'd find out that they were married. You'd be like, what the fuck?
That may or may not have happened a few times.
It's happened. I'm not afraid to admit it. So that situation is very situational for what I'm saying, especially because this is a weird thing for Aquarius. Like you would not expect it. Like there's no way. But then when the situation's there and then you're like, well, I'm in a really weird situation. Like, fuck it. Or you're single and you're like, well, this person's like, hey, fucking I will make you a star. Or I will do this for you or blah, blah. And you're like, okay, fuck it. I'm in such a weird place anyway. Let's go. And the next thing you know, you're on a casting couch.
Or on a bus.
Or on a bus. And that didn't end up well for that guy either.
But, you know, it all depends the effort that we're putting into and if we actually want to see the truth that surrounds us or if we want to just continue to be blind and walk in a direction that is not healthy for us. Was that Virgo?
Hippopotamuses? No, I'm just kidding. Taurus. That was your original guess. Hey, I got a moon in Taurus. Maybe I'm like a big, hungry hippo. Like, It's
true.
It's true. All right, Taurans. Full moon in Leo. The 4th house. The emotional house. I think that, you know, when we look at love, I think that you're looking for something emotional now, more deeper emotional. But with the sun in the 10th in Aquarius, it's like, oh, okay, emotions are good, but do you have the goods of the direction with these emotions? It's one thing to be emotional and have emotion. Huff Money, Christopher Witecki, follow him. He's my first mentor and best mentor in astrology. Who's a Taurus, is calling me live on the show right now. Love you, brother. And he's a moon in Leo too. But I will say that this is a moment in everybody's life that's a Taurus to make sure that, you know, go to the emotional world. Or if you're in a relationship, Tauruses can get really in love emotionally with somebody, really big time. But if it's not good for their long term, it always ends up bad. So this is a time for you to not block emotion, but just make sure that it's in alignment that makes sense, especially with Mercury now that happens to be in your 11th house. I think that it's very important for you to be like, you know what? This is a moment for me to make sure that I am in a world and around people that really, you know, get me. Instead of being with a romantic partnership that might be taking you to weird places with weird people, you know? Like, it's like, okay, no, like, I don't want to go to that. That seems weird. And then you got all this stuff with Mars in the 8th. So sex energy is high end right now, especially with Venus coming into your 12th house. You don't want to make a mistake with going into the 12th into some really kind of, ooh, this is exciting, or this is like magical, but maybe with Chiron there, it kind of is a hippopotamus that goes, you know, it's like, no, it's not magical. They don't even have a home. They don't have anything, and they want you to take care of them because Tauruses love to take people in. So this is not a time for you to take somebody in, and make sure if it's not about somebody that's taking somebody in, are you around weird people because of this person or doing weird things that you normally wouldn't do? Pay attention to that, Taurus. Your card for this week, Taurus, is the Fool card reverse. So you definitely don't want to be a fool because the Fool card reverse is the ultimate fool. And is actually overall maybe in love too this week. It's feeling like, you know, you've lost kind of that magical feeling of the universe and the world. The Fool card is having a great time, but sometimes that great time, especially when it's reversed, is falling off a cliff or getting too drunk or getting too, you know, not paying attention. So you need to pay attention. There is a situation that you need to pay attention about because maybe you've been a little bit too foolish about it. Whether you've been dating somebody or you've been in a relationship with somebody, and maybe you're realizing that you've been dating a fool, or maybe you've been realizing that you're the fool for even going for and falling for this, especially if you're trying to go backwards to an ex that you already know you were the fool about before, and now you're putting them up on a pedestal, and now you're asking for a double whammy of a harder fall. You did pull the Mercury retrograde BAM card for your challenge. Woo! So, you know, this is really a challenge because I think, you know, trying to go backwards, I don't know why I'm getting this with the Fool card reverse and with the Mercury retrograde card in challenge Taurus. It's like, this is where you don't go backwards. And I think that you need to rethink and reinvent, but it's like, no, it's like, I don't want to reinvent the wheel. I want to do the wheel that I already know. That is foolish. You did pull the lucky card. So if you do not go backwards and you do not do foolish things, you're not being the fool to yourself anymore. And you actually, I think, use the challenge position as a challenge to you. Like, are you going to actually Mercury retrograde this and actually re-examine what your situation is with love? Then luck will bestow upon you extremely. So this is a great week for you and a lot of positive energy for you. But I think that part of the issue here is dealing with, hey, I mean, at the end of the day, you're not really thinking about what is not really working for you or making you feel like you're in a weird space. Or have you been so foolish and you're with Mercury retrograde and challenge, it's like you're overthinking love that you just haven't entered into any romantic positions at all? Like, maybe you need to go experience some luck and actually stop thinking about it. And maybe, maybe you've been foolish. Maybe you've been so much the fool. You're afraid. You're like afraid to remember the bliss of life. I will say that because I feel like there are some Tauruses out there that you know what, maybe haven't been in anything. And it's like, this is again, another kind of like, let's go, full moon in Leo. Like, Tauruses love to feel emotion more than anybody else. Why do you think the moon is exalted in Taurus? It's because when the moon's in Leo, it's like, hello, that's your guys' fourth house. Leo. So the sun's dignified position is the fourth house for Tauruses. Of course the moon will be exalted in Taurus. All right. Your spiritual advice card is the Two of Pentacles upright. So I think that you have to balance out your world better. And I think that you have to realize that, if you're trying to enter in partnerships where the world is so different, that's okay. But if it's like this juggle fest where it feels like, hey, I'm the crazy guy that I'm a captain on the boat of the blah, 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 and you're like, I don't know. It kind of reminds me of Forrest Gump and Bubba from Forrest Gump. I think they made great soldiers, but I don't think they would have made good shrimp boat captains together. There was something about Lieutenant Dan and Bubba and Forrest that made better shrimp boat captains. So I think that you need to really kind of look at the worlds here. Sure, it would have been a great idea for Bubba and for Forrest Gump to be shrimp boat captains, but Forrest would have never had the drive or the ambition as much as he did because Bubba had left, and Lieutenant Dan found God on that boat. So you're going to have to really kind of go through this weird balancing act about what you need to rethink about with love and see if the world, if you're in a partnership or you're dating somebody, if it really is like makes sense. And if this is the world that you want to be in. Your clarifying card over that full reversed card is, the Strength card reversed. So I feel that it's like, maybe you feel like if you're dating somebody, you lose your strength without them, but that's foolish. If you're single and you're not seeing anybody, you're not dating anybody, it's like, you're foolish to think that you have no strength to go out to have love. Like, you're not ready yet. It's like, I'm not ready yet. I don't have enough in me yet. I haven't worked on myself yet. It's like, no, you've been working on yourself a lot, to the point to where it's like, the lion in what's that movie? Wizard of Oz. That's like, come on. The courage is there. Don't be that pesky old lion waiting for Dorothy. Like, you've got it now. All right, Taurus, let's see what you got for your astro dice. You got the fourth house with Jupiter with Pisces. So we got an exalted Jupiter in the fourth house where it's exalted again. This is an amazing opportunity week for you when it comes to the emotions and to feeling into the magic that you want in your life. Just don't be foolish about it. Be smart, but make sense of dreams that can become reality and that feel right emotionally. That's an intuitive feel. You'll know. But if it feels like, a little bit like you're going to go down some sort of addictive emotional path, and maybe this is making you aware of an addicted emotional relationship too, that's not good for you. But I would say that overall, you'll be able to get out of that. And I think for those that are looking for the right opportunities for emotions and the feeling, that there's a lot of positive in that too. So this, I think, is a very good week for Tauruses overall. Just like, be smart. and you got a lucky card. Why do you got the lucky card? You got the lucky card because you did pull the 6 of Wands reversed. And you know what? You're not even close to accomplishing the true happiness in your life that you want yet. So the universe is trying to open up doors. It's like, don't come in from the journey. You have not completed this love journey yet, Taurus. You are not ready for your rewards because you are lucky enough to still be able to go experience the journey of that love fully.
Yeah, maybe you just gotta trim a little fat around the edges, cut off some of those branches so you can sprout and grow a little bit more within yourself and within that relationship that you're trying to find.
Yeah.
It's out there. It is out there.
It's out there.
It's everywhere that you want to be.
Hey. What do you think's next? We only got a couple left here.
I think we got like 5 left.
5 left, I think. So, hold on. I want to make sure people know I'm not cheating. Not 7 of Swords. You know what I mean? Leo. You know what fell?
Scorpio. Down to the bottom.
But because it didn't hand in my hand, Scorpio goes back into the cup. Oh, no. No.
Just where we belong in the muck with the rest of the zodiac.
Well, Leos.
Be kind to yourself.
As I get 5%, nicotine salt in me, I think about Leos and I go, Full moon in Leo week. I always do love a good full moon in Leo. People thought I was a little bit crazy today. Wait till you see what I'm like on a full moon in Leo. I'm always fucking intense. That's a fact too. I've never forgot and I'm just going to say this before we go into Leo. When I first was doing astrology, and this is like 2008 or 9, I was sitting in Huntington Beach in my house and I had my friend Jesse Hantla over. And he's like, what the fuck, Palmer? You're fucking just on fire. What the heck? You're just like, game on, bro. And I'm like, it's a full moon in Leo, fool. He's a Taurus actually too. And I'm like, it's full fucking moon in Leo, dog. And I remember he was like, damn. This shit might be real, bro. You're fucking insane tonight. I was like, yeah, bro. Fuck yeah. It's fucking full moon in Leo. And I'll never forget that shit in my head. I was like, this shit's real. Anyway, Leos are at a full moon position this week after Mercury, now in the 8th house, is searching for the ultimate temple of emotion and feeling and depth and sex and passion. And where is the connection? And the sun is still in the 7th house. So Leos are going through a major love week with Sun in the 7th house of relationships, full moon in their 1st house, weighing that out. Who really is in the full Leo alignment of the connection for you? And Mars in the 5th of love. Bam, the adventure of love. So Leos are in this adventure of love, and with Mercury in the 8th, trying to figure out the depth and get to it. So this is a major week for Leo and love. Major. Astrologically. Finally, this full moon in Leo brings some Leo energy that has not been around for a long time. And all the Capricorn stuff is, how does all that fit into your crazy reality that's pretty busy and slammed? Or non-existent for some Leos out there. Busy castle. All right, first card that we got for Leos is the 8 of Swords upright. What a horrible fucking card. Stay away from toxic relationship situations. Bam. Holy shit. Big warning. Toxic love. Bad. So any relationship that makes you feel sick, doesn't make you feel good, makes you feel that you're trapped, not good. Not good. So you might have to address relationships and be like, hey, I'm not feeling this. I feel a little bit trapped, or my body doesn't respond well after I'm with you, or I just don't feel good fully, even though I don't understand it, because the blindness is almost like a spell has been cast on you to make you be like, you're okay, like everything's good, but it's like, I don't know, I don't feel good, like, I'm in toxic shit. I'm in the fucking porta potty and all the blue shit's all over me. So this is a time for Leos to get out of any toxic relationships or not step into one either. And wow, the challenge is the Venus love card. Woo! I guess Leo's really wanted to have a dramatic week. Well, Welcome to the fucking party. You want it? This is soap opera meets fucking horror show. So the challenge is about trying to find the true love that you're not blinded by toxicity with. And I think it's going to be very difficult to determine what is toxic and what is not. Very, very difficult. But in the Eight of Swords, it is always very clear, logically, about factual information that does not make sense. And especially with Venus in love card, and Venus happens to be coming into Aries, which is the 9th house. If they don't believe in love with you, or you don't have the full belief in them, then that's toxic already. Because no king is going to sit next to a queen, and no queen is going to sit next to a king that doesn't have the same beliefs about the castle and about the whole mission. Not going to work. Wow, it's going to be dramatic week. And okay, so you get the key to where you really want to go. And the talisman, is the ultimate one that has the keys. It's a royal card, actually. But it is a time where you can finally unlock, I think, the true happiness that you want by finally addressing your toxic love issues or toxic people and relationship issues that are still hanging around. And I feel that, unlocking this will help you open the doors that you felt like you couldn't open before, because maybe you felt like you were locked in a room with a toxic and crazy situation that you don't need to be anymore, or that you got yourself in there and you need a key out. Like you almost like the door got locked behind you. Like, oh, I just came in here to investigate this. Oh, the door locked? No, what? Ah, exorcist. Imagine being in the movie The Exorcist and you're in there with the priest and the creepy little girl throwing up, and you walked in, you're like, I just want to see, because at least every Leo, my Leo ring flew off. Every Leo wants to just see. Let me just see. And so you're like, oh, there's an exorcism going on? I guess I'll look. And you're trying to be positive, think it's like a joke. Every Leo comes into a fearful situation as a joke. Oh, and then you walk in, it's like the door, she fucking, and the door closes and you're like, this is the love situation I'm in. There's no key. Well, by addressing the exorcist woman that is encapsulated by the devil, you literally say, hey, I'm sorry. I just came in here. I didn't really mean to keep going in here. I'm not dumb. I don't want to be here. And I don't like green pea soup, especially regurgitated green pea soup. I would love the key out, please. I don't know. It's almost like in Beauty and the Beast, like Chip's going to show up with the fucking key and be like, here, I got you, Leo, out of here. Let's see what the spiritual advice is. The Three of Cups, upright. Wow, this is a great card. So I think when it comes to the challenge with love, it's like, why aren't you around energy that feels really good and sociable and fun and exciting? Any situation that is not fun and exciting and it just feels like a fucking party pooper parade, that's your guide. You're a Leo anyway. You like to have fun. You like to have a good time. Why be around anybody that's a Debbie Downer and trying to tell you what to do? That's toxic as fuck. Your Eight of Swords, let's get to the deep. What is the clarifier here of the crazy, weird, toxic energy? Ooh, the star, oh, this is the Sun card reversed. Yeah, they do not like you and how you are. They don't let you be the Sun. They don't let you be a Leo. They're like, I don't like the way that you are. Can you shift that? That's a little bit too much. I'll never forget this. When I was on, this is, I don't even know, like 5 years ago. And I was on Tinder in Hollywood and Bumble and all that shit. Some girl straight told me, okay? I was like, sorry, I don't drink alcohol. So this is 4.5 years ago, I guess. So I was actually back in Irvine. 4.5 years ago, I don't drink alcohol. And she was like, oh, no, sorry, it's the opposite way around. She put up coffee. I don't know why every girl on Tinder and Bumble want to just do coffee. I don't know. I'm going to just say that that's the most, I don't know. As a Leo, I'm like, what do you mean? Like, what?
They also all speak fluent in sarcasm, apparently.
Who?
Every girl on those dating sites, it feels like they all just speak fluent in sarcasm. At least that's what they're claiming.
Right.
Whatever the
You're
fuck
right.
that means.
Some of them are cool, but I would say like, you know, like the first thing you say is an emoji of a coffee. And so I'm like, oh, you know what? I'll go out and meet you for coffee. I just don't drink coffee anymore. And, you know, I don't do caffeine anymore. And she's like, does that mean that you do not drink alcohol as well? And I was just like, damn, demanding on what I should drink and how I should be. Stay the fuck away, Leo, from anybody that's going to try and take your sun away and take your true self away. Because that is the most toxic thing that a Leo can ever go through, is when somebody does not like the light that you shine and they try and dim it. Any soul that is in your life that you've ever been in love with, they never tried to dim your light. They actually fucking wanted more of your light. And that's the truth. And the key to that is the King of Pentacles reversed. That, you know what, if they do not have the ultimate value of you and you're not valuing yourself because you feel like you can't unlock this situation, because you feel like you're not good enough, exit. Green pea soup is not fun in a room with an exorcist. Ah! Venus and Virgo in the third. This means that it's time to really examine the truth about communication and the reality and the environment and the kind of relationship that you want. So stop going after people that their environment does not suit the same environment that yours is. They don't live the same kind of lifestyle. They don't live the same kind of crazy radical reality that you live. I got glow-in-the-dark fucking paint behind me right now. You know what I mean?
At least that chick didn't waste your time, though, you know? I mean, like, how many situations have there been where people just kind of project that they can get a free meal out of it?
I didn't write back.
Yeah. You know,
I don't get in fights with Bumble or Tinder dates.
That's good. It's not worth the time.
Well, that's not entirely true.
It ain't worth it.
I would lie if I said that.
Yeah, you know, it just was not meant to be.
Yeah, it just was not meant to be. But, yeah.
Just like, you know, if someone didn't drink or like to go out and get a little weird, then you know, they probably wouldn't work too well with me either. So
I wasn't going to tell you this, but somebody recently sent me a snapshot of you on a dating site. Pisces. I was like, oh,
crushing it,
using the dogs.
You know, I love my dogs. Well, I actually have 0 now, but what are we on, Pisces? I did love them very, very much. R.I.P. Miyagi.
You know what I don't like about dating sites about girls is, like, literally, I don't know how many I've read before, especially when, you know, Craig and I are working on a secret project in the background. So we had to do some investigation on dating apps. And I don't know how, I think that 80% of girls are like, I want to just meet your dog. I'm like, really?
Yeah, none of them ever say that they want to meet your cat.
No, yeah, number one, none of them ever say they want to meet cats, or they're like, I'm allergic to cats. So I'm like, oh my God, okay, I guess I'm axed out. And they always say that they want a relationship with the dog. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? You never met the dog before in your life? Like, what? You don't have the capacity to have a dog because you don't want to take care of your own fucking dog? That's how I look at it. Like, oh, well, I don't have a dog, but you just want a dog, but you don't want a dog. You don't want a dog. You don't want the role to take care of it. What does that mean, that you really are ready to take care of a relationship with you if you can't even take care of your own fucking dog? Damn. All right, Pisces. Full moon in Leo is a moon in the 6th house. It's not the most magical house, the 6th house, especially being a Pisces, since that's your opposite house. I mean, you would rather be in the 12th where the sun is right now and in your own weird Aquarian. Why do you think that Pisces live in an aquarium? 12th house, Pisces. It's Aquarius, aquarium, fish in aquarium. They get stuck in aquariums. Are you stuck in an aquarium? Is this a reality that you feel stuck in? You need to make changes in your reality now about your relationships and picking the reality of the kind of relationships you're in. So guess what? You're stuck in the aquarium if you're with drug dealers all the time. Well, guess what? Every time that you're swimming around the fucking little rock with the little pirate ship and you're like, oh God, there's that blower fish there with blow. Like, I want to get away. People are everything for Pisces right now with all these planets. It's the biggest conjunction we've ever seen of Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto in your 11th house. It's about the people you associate with this. I feel like I'm a crazy person on the app because for literally the last 2 years, I'm like, Pisces, who you hang out with, who your friends are is exactly what you're dealing with for your relationship life and your life. It's affecting your visual appearance. It's everything. Especially with all that second house Venus moving into Chiron. Pisces is dealing with some self-worth stuff, with visual, physical stuff, because Venus in the second with Chiron is not the easiest position right now. And with full moon in the sixth house, it's like, are you living in the reality and that's in an aquarium? That's really the one you want? Use that visualization. You're going around the little cave in your aquarium and there's that blowfish and he's selling blow. It's like, no, I don't want that. Your aquarium is based off the other fish that you're in the school of that you're around. And if you're in a relationship right now and he or she or it or whatever, neutral, whatever, I don't even know what to say anymore. Nothing's politically correct in this fucking world anymore. Whatever it is you're into, at the end of the day, if they have friends and people that they are not conduent to the true spiritual essence of who you are, or if you're in your own world by yourself in the aquarium by yourself and you're like, I want love. Do you think some fish is going to jump in and risk everything to jump into your fish tank? No. It's time to look to a new horizon. There are other aquariums out there. Oh man. But this is a positive card. This is definitely a card that deals with new horizons. And, you know, there is something to say, though, this card might look at the horizon, but it also is waiting for the ship to come in. Now, I am about to say this. It's like, you know, in order to have the horizons you want, you have to go towards them. So it's good to stand tall and to stand firm this week in love. Like, I see a vision of what I want. It's another to actually go for it. And so I think that Pisces, especially if we look at the stars with Mercury in your sign, you got to make moves. You just can't stay paused. Mercury is a mover and shaker and figuring it out of what you want. You have to, and with the retrograding there, you better start getting moving before the retrograde happens. And then you're in a lost state of, I don't know. So if you got a vision, you gotta own that vision now, and you gotta start doing something about it. Your challenge is, of course it is, the void off course moon. You feel like something's missing, but that's the challenge. It's like, is it something missing in you, or do you feel like there's something missing from the partner that you're into? Well, that you've got to go figure that out. You got to go bring the vision that you want, and you got to go experience it. Void off course moon is like, so I'm off. I'm not connected to anything. Like, you know, I'm like fucking at the end of a sign. I like not aspecting any planets, you know, so I'm just kind of emotionally fucking missing something. Well, guess what? You can only get out of a void off course moon by either moving into a new sign or aspecting a planet. So you need to make aspects in your life by connecting to things or moving into a new energy. By staying stagnant and by not going into just the vision, you're not feeling anything. Even though you're in the feeling of the vision, you need to experience the feeling, and you have to connect to something or move into some new energy instead of just stay stagnant into there. And you pulled the knowledge card overall. So I think that you are in a major review process of your life. You're trying to understand the long-term benefits of your life, but there's still something missing about this. The knowledge card to me is like one of the most like bland cards we can get for love. It's literally gray. It's literally gray. And a book. Now, it's definitely not like a Playboy or a Playgirl. So, it's not even a romantic novel here. There's something about you really being into just trying to figure out your life, but that's making you feel like you're missing something, and that's a huge challenge. Your spiritual advice card over that is the Four of Cups reversed. You really don't want to take anything that's given to you by the universe, or go towards anything. You know, the one thing is Four of Cups, it always is resistant to what is being given to you. And then Four of Cups reversed is like, no, God's not showing up with anything. I don't see shit. Actually, that's quite not the truth, especially since you have the vision for it. God's already shown you the vision, but you got to go something. I think you're expecting some other person to create the missing feeling to go away by them coming towards you. You have to go towards them, because Four of Cups reversed is like nothing's coming towards me. It's like, especially have a void off course moon. No, it's more like you're not aspecting anything, or you're not showing up for anything. Your Three of Wands that you got, that's the Knight of Pentacles reversed. So you're not moving towards shit. Or you're not advancing any way forward. Knight of Pentacles reversed is definitely feeling not self-worth. Like you haven't gathered enough energy there. You're not moving forward at all. Like it's just complete stopped. Your knowledge card that you got, that you're spending all your time on knowledge, is Temperance. It's like you're trying to find this really peaceful and beautiful state. And you know what? I'll give you that. That's a positive thing. But maybe it moves there by actually moving towards what you really want in your life. Maybe that's the knowledge is experience. It's not by reading a book. You can read something. So I'll use an example. If you read the directions for your car, for example, like, why is my windshield wiper doing this weird thing? You read the manual and you're like, okay, windshields, page 269. Okay, make sure that the car's off and put the windshield wipers all the way to the off position and, push it in 3 times to reset it. Until you push it 3 times to reset it, that's the experience. You gain the knowledge, but you got to now go do it. You got to go experience the knowledge. You can't just fucking read something and live it in your fucking head anymore, Pisces. I'm sorry. All right, you got third house, Gemini with the South Node. I mean, this is you totally locked into the same you are in a very tight space. This could be anxiety. This could be way up in your head overthinking things. You got to go experience. North Node opposite would be North Node in Sag in the 9th. You literally have to go through a double experience. It's like experience squared. You got to go experience it. You got to go adventure tour it. You got to go see what it is, because it's all up in your head at this point. And it's a very tiny space. South Node in every South Node person in Gemini lives in a tiny space, okay? Like they don't like to expand their world. And then with a South Node third house, that's a very tiny space. So you're in a tiny space of a tiny space. If you think tiny homes are small, this is a tiny home inside of a tiny home.
Time for a little exploration over there, eh?
That's what it's looking like.
It's looking like we're going to be saving the best for last again.
Well, there's 3 signs left, so. Gemini.
Geminis are going to have a good week, huh?
Huh?
Geminis are going to have a good week, huh?
Yeah, we're about to find out. We are about to find out. Oh, my phone died. I had a chat room going, pretty popping, and then lost it. All right, Geminis.
I got sidetracked right there.
What?
Said I got sidetracked right there. But yeah, Gemini.
I know, and this thing's dead. Well, if we're talking about love and relationships, I mean, the full moon in Leo is in your 3rd house. This is your natural home that you rule, the 3rd house. Stimulation, excitement. And now that the sun's in Aquarius, the 9th house, it's like you're on a big search for the exciting thing in your life. So number one, if it's not exciting and the environment's not exciting, you don't feel like it's expanding your life, well, Gemini, it's not going to work. If you're dating or in a relationship, there's got to be communication and beliefs on the same page, because no Gemini can ever be in a relationship, especially with Mars in your 7th house, and your 7th house is Sag. No Gemini is ever, and I'm going to say this for the last time, is ever going to work in a relationship where the beliefs are not the same. Because guess what? You're just going to be in quarrels and fights and arguments and trying to prove a point all the time. Instead of having fun and stimulation, it's always going to come back to, well, see, look at this point that I'm making to you. It's like trying to convert the person to a belief because you're trying to give fact after fact after fact after fact. So guess what? Beliefs with Mars here in your 7th house are a big point. The sun's in your belief house and the moon's in your 3rd. The environment, is it really happy based upon the weird world of beliefs that you're in and the way that you see the world the same way? If it's not, you're into a major problem here. And we've got Mercury now in the 10th house of your career life. So you got to really think, is this alignment for your career? Being with somebody who has maybe different beliefs, or exploring situations with people who just don't make logical sense to you, or you're just coming from 2 different worlds? And then Mercury in the 10th is like, that's your ruling planet. It's about to go retrograde. You better start to make some big decisions of authority in your relationship life, because you do not want to go through this Mercury retrograde. It'll affect your career life. It'll make you lose out on career choices if you're in a weird situation. If you're in an amazing situation, then, well, I guess you're going to go in the right direction, because you'll know, because the beliefs are on the same page. If they're not on the same page, I'm sorry to say, all Geminis are wiped off the energy board of that it's good, because you will just fight your whole life. It will always come back to having to prove a point. Makes me want to fucking have a cigarette. Just poor Geminis. And with Venus and Aries, guess what? This is your 11th house. You'll end up being the weirdo in the world with that person that you can't bring that person into your reality, or you're trying to go into their reality and it doesn't make sense. Like, you're going to their world, their friends don't believe what you believe, or there's that one person that does. So you're always in the corner like, oh, so I believe that aliens and da-da-da, but I know that he or she doesn't. So like, you're the one cool person here, right? And it's that weirdo in the room, and then you're the weirdo, and then everybody's like, hey, why are you dating that person over there? That's your partner. Like, then you're that person. And they're always going to see you that way. And then your friends are always going to be like, so you're with that person, but they don't believe this shit either. All right, Gemini, it's going to be an interesting one. The Empress. Woo! You know what? Craig, you might be right. Geminis might be having a great week this week. You are a goddess, or God, but it is a feminine energy. You are a goddess energy, Gemini. And you know what? This is a time for you to step into your true value of yourself and own it. If I was a chick talking to a chick, it's like, own it, girl. But you know what? You know the abundance, you know the greatest, and the Empress card does have the Venus card with it in a heart shape. So she knows the love that she wants. She's got a throne, and she is a major arcana, and she is a 3 opportunities. So this is a major opportunistic week for you to actually move into the energy that you really want in your life, to open up the great doors. But no door will open, and you will not be the Empress that you want to be. You will not get the abundance you want to be if it's not in alignment with your true values and your true sense of self. Your challenge is the earth element stability. You're in an unstable place right now because I feel that the values are not the same. I think that the beliefs are one thing, but what comes with negative belief values not being the same, or negative beliefs not being in the same place, or even religious viewpoints or whatever, creates an instability element of life. So I don't think that, maybe you might be unstable with your self-worth this week because of it. That's why the Empress is showing up, but then it's trying to move forward with maybe an energy, or trying to date somebody, or maybe you're feeling all alone, but maybe it's like, you're not communicating, or maybe you're not willing to go explore relationships, or maybe you're in a relationship and it's unstable because you're not feeling like you're the empress. There's definitely some instability here that's going to be very difficult to deal with here. And you got the soulmate card overall. Wow, you got a big soulmate decision this week. I knew I needed a cigarette for this one. Look at that. You're getting signs everywhere. You need to really understand the soulmate energy of where you're at with soulmates, and finding the true soulmate within you that sees you as the empress instead of, only part of the empress in you, especially not your full value. Maybe this person or maybe a relationship is only valuing you in one way, not the entire embodiment of you. Almost like looking at you like, I don't know, my guys are saying like a piece of meat. You did get the Wheel of Fortune over that stability card. So the universe is trying to turn you into a new direction to make you more stable, but you're having troubles dealing with that. Let the universe take its natural course of fortune the way that it's supposed to. The wheel is turning whether you like it or not, but it's trying to turn you into the right direction. But if you're going to hold that up in an unstable place, like I'm going to hold on to this earthquake fucking situation, I'm going to just keep holding it there. It's like, oh my gosh, I'm trying to offer you this amazing new place. Like you're on bankruptcy. Like I'm trying to move you to like the glittery $1,000 fucking thing on Wheel of Fortune. But no. Why did you pull the Empress card? Ace of Wands upright. Because you're ready to go move into the ultimate happiness of your life, and some partner or somebody that you're trying to work with or whatever is not. Your soulmate energy, you pulled it, Knight of Wands upright. The knight in shining armor of love is on its way to you, or that energy is that supposed to be there for your soulmate, not somebody who is kind of there, kind of not, doesn't have the same beliefs, and unfortunately is not stable with their true energy for you. All right. Saturn and Gemini in the first house. You need to stop trying to figure out what you want. Because I think that this is a time for you to really go, I have authority over the understanding of what I want, and it's not there, so I am not going to do that. You need to put authority in what you want, and authority what you want is something that you already understand. And you need to learn to communicate what you want and be specific on what you want and act upon what you want, instead of acting like I'm going to stay doing what I don't want and I'm going to still keep asking for what I don't want because I am not in authority of what is showing up in my life, what is not what I want. You have to take authority for what you want now, Gemini.
Yeah, you got to take the power back. You got to take the power back, and you got to...
They got the best reading.
Yeah, they do. They do. But it's all holding within them as well. Are they going to tap into that power, or are they going to let it slide right past them? Are they going to actually grab that love that's in front of them, the love that's inside of them? Are they going to let that dwindle away? Because you got to love yourself first before you can love anybody else.
Very true, my friend. Especially because I like how you said taking their power back.
You got to take the power back.
Like a good old Virgo would do.
Virgo.
You're the last. Say the best for last.
Told you.
You're pretty accurate with all your psychic energy tonight, Craig. You said Geminis would have the best reading. They did.
I'm not.
You said you're saving the best for last for Scorpios.
I'm glad you acknowledge that we are the best. It's good. What are you seeing over there?
I'm reading the tweets going around, and I think the Iowa caucuses were tonight, and everybody's tweeting about, I saw this happening, and nah. Messy delay leaves Iowa without a winner.
Trippy.
Mercury and Pisces. Oh, Van Jones on CNN calls Iowa caucus delay a debacle. I think he's a debacle. Van Jones.
All right.
All right. We are at Virgos that are at a very pivotal point in love. The sun is in the 6th house, so a full moon in the 12th. What do you have to karmically deal with emotionally that might not be in alignment within your life? This full moon in the 12th house is not the easiest. It's the one full moon that all signs kind of go, well, any astrologer knows is like, uh-oh, a full moon in the 12th, there is some baggage being dropped. So this could be spiritual baggage in yourself. This could be suppression. Or this could just be something that just doesn't work out, that maybe didn't work out for your reality in love. But you know what? Let's look at some positives. We do have Mercury, which is in your relationship house. So communication or trying to understand relationships is a really weird place with Neptune and Mercury's in shadow, ready to go retrograde. Yeah, that's a weird position. You're not understanding of where it's all going with relationships. And then you got all this energy in the 5th house, Jupiter, Saturn, Pluto. So you're trying to put authority in your happiness and love life, and it's a control thing, though, believe it or not. Either trying to stay in a romantic situation or control how love should look in your life and this moral code. When I think there's a lot more about just going with the flow, and especially a full moon in the 12th is just going with the flow. You can pass this test if you learn to go with the flow, but you also don't suppress yourself, which makes it weird. Mars in the 4th makes you really intense emotionally, but, are you able to express your emotions fully? And is there a block there? Is a big question, especially with the kind of partners that you're choosing. And, well, we'll see how this full moon in Leo treats you in the 12th. What is spirit? Spirit is guiding the way on this one. Your control is definitely not going to work. You pulled 2 cards. You pulled the King of Swords reversed and the Star card reversed. So I think that you're in a very hard position of knowing exactly what you want in relationships, and the Star card reverse feels like, you're really not understanding and where to really start from. It almost feels like you're in a place where there's a missing of total connection and you don't know what it is. So you might feel really lost right now, especially when it comes to your romantic life and partnerships. It could be also, you're wanting the freedom fully, but you don't understand how that's going to be, or you're wanting it to be this beautiful moment, but it still is not understanding why it hasn't found the exact understanding of this really connected and beautiful moment. So there could be some connection blocks, and there could be some deep communication blocks here, or even in yourself understanding where you're at with your love life. Your challenge card is the 10th house of the world. You have no idea. I think that the block is that your own life when it comes to, or even possibly the partner you might be thinking about or choosing, or a partnership you're in, there's career situations going on. Whether it's you're in alignment with somebody who's not in the same career as you, or there's a career issue going on, or this is even the decision house, like deciding, there's a challenge in deciding, like, is this the world that I want to go through? Does this person see the world the same way I do? Or are you on the same level playing field in the world too? That could be a really difficult position. 10th house has to deal with hierarchies. And you got stormy waters. Woo! Stormy Daniels showed up in the reading, dog.
Stormy.
We learn a lot from storms. We learn a lot how to navigate better in life, especially a stormy ship. So it's going to be a weird week. It's going to be a stormy kind of week. It's going to be a little bit all over the place week. And you know what? I think the best course of action here is that you don't know. The only way that you navigate through a storm is you definitely are not looking at your maps. You're definitely not looking at the GPS or guide. You're just like trying to get through the next big wave. And that teaches you to be better. And I'm going to go back to, I forgot what time we were doing with Forrest Gump and Lieutenant Dan. But Lieutenant Dan got on got up at the top of that mast of that ship during the biggest storm ever that actually made them really rich and famous, Bubba Gump Shrimp Company, because he was on the top of that crazy storm having the time of his life. Sometimes a little bit of drama is a good thing. It reveals things and understands things. But trying to avoid that or trying to control that, that might turn into weird energy. I mean, I think that you are looking for some edge. So guess what? It's coming. Your spiritual advice card is the Devil card reversed. So, This is usually, pulling out of a situation of past energies that have not been good, whether that you have defined your life, your morals off past bad people and feeling like, oh, I don't want to go through that again. So stay away from energy of people that you feel like you might be going down the same rabbit hole again. 2, I don't think that this, because your challenge position is trying to understand the world and trying to understand decision making. The devil reversed is saying that you got to pull out for a moment of situations that, you know what, they're not in alignment with you. They might pull you also into more of just desire. And I think that you need to find more than desire here. Although that's important to have, but I think that it's hard to make decision if you're making it from just a desirable place or a sexual place. The reason why you got the Star card and the Knight of Swords, or the King of Swords reversed, is the 8 of Pentacles. I think that you have to get back to just your fundamental core of your Virgo natural ways of your reality in your life and not make any crazy reality changes for a relationship. So it's like staying the course of your day-to-day life and what you know how to do instead of trying to jump into situations where you have no idea what it's like, because that's not going to be good. And the reason why you pulled the stormy energy is you pulled the Queen of Cups, that you know what's going to nurture yourself, and you can make it through any storm when you're emotionally in touch with what you know you need. If you're not getting what you need emotionally, it will be extremely stormy to where it actually is detrimental. But you can handle any storm when you know exactly the emotions you need, and that will be there to take care of you. If they're not there, well, that's a storm you don't want to go through. You got the North Node in the 8th house of Aries. So you need to focus on your own needs and wants and what you need to receive. And if you're not receiving that, if you're not getting what you want and need, and you're not getting it all the way, and yes, there's a lot of sexual energy here. So that's important. If you're not getting that, number 1, well, that's already a red flag, Virgo. But if now, number 2, you're past that point, because we all know Charlie Sheen was a Virgo, and he definitely got what he wanted there, but that didn't go in the right direction. So, is this emotionally giving you what you need, caretaking, practical, and makes sense, and is not taking you down some crazy road that you don't understand and where you feel lost, and is clear of intention? Last one is Scorpio.
Scorpio. Yeah, those Virgos, they need to stand up in their power, though. They need to face that storm. They need to ride that. Once you come through out on the other end, you're going to have this deep knowing, this deep connection within yourself and within your partner. Or, that could be lovers, it could be friends. But you're going to find that deep connection knowing that you both succeeded and you both made it through that together.
Very true, my friend.
Yep. But we all know what time it is, because there ain't no party like a Scorpio party, baby. Yeah.
All right. Scorpio, well,
tell me what I need to hear.
I'm just waiting for that. I won't give a Scorpio party without a Scorpio neon sign. There we go. All right. Full moon in Leo, the 10th house. Sun in the 4th. Full moon in Leo is about shining bright. You know what? Believe it or not, Scorpios, even though they're private people, they have their eyes and their shine when they are recognized. That's what's so weird. Scorpios like to be private and hidden, but they actually thrive on stage. They thrive when they're noticed. So Scorpios think they're private. That's why scorpions always go deep into the hole, right? But nobody would know that they're a scorpion with that stinger and the way that they are and the crazy intensity that they are unless they showed themselves. And they actually like to be shown. So when it comes to love, who notices you and who doesn't? Who likes to see you shine, likes what you do with your career, likes what you do with your path? Because that's going to make you feel comfortable. Because right now, there's a major time for you just trying to find your comforts right now and just trying to find a chill place. But, now that you're going to have a big career transit here, it's like, which love is seeing you for that? Which love makes sense for you in the things you do for your career? I always like to say that I probably wouldn't end up with an office manager just because, I don't know. I mean, I could probably find some stuff in common, but I just, I'm here screaming at 10:30 at night about fucking why Scorpios want to be recognized and be scorpions that come out of the fucking holes. So I think that it's important for you to understand the kind of partner that you choose, because if you're going to settle with an emotional partnership, or if you're in a partnership, the goals have to be somewhat like, you're passionate about your goals, Scorpio. You're passionate about what you want to do. And if you're feeling restricted by somebody because they're not as passionate, or they're not even thriving with you or want to thrive, I'm not saying that they have to do what you do, but I'm saying that they're a cheerleader and they see how awesome you are and they love that about you. That's what to focus on. Mercury in your 5th house, communicating what you need in happiness and love is so important right now. And even though that's a confusing space sometimes, like I don't know what I really want, it's about the essence and the imagination and the beauty that you have to communicate. You don't need to necessarily give the reality of that, but what you would dream to have, and be clear on that so people know. And so you don't have to keep, because I would say that Scorpios have the hardest time using their psychic energies in love and relationship. So what I mean by that, because Uranus in Taurus is a fixed earth sign, it's their opposite sign. So it's like relationship, and when it comes into love is a difficult one to understand. You can see somebody that you love or that might love you, but where that goes is always the confusing part, is afterwards. Like you can see and know if you're going to be in love with someone or somebody will love you, but the next step is the hardest. I'm trying to help you see that this is a part where you can understand how to get to the next step by being clear on your intentions, by being clear on what you want, and seeing if these people are willing to have the same authority as you to make choices to move things to other placements, or at least have a goal of where you're both trying to attain, whether it's just to get in a relationship, or whether it's to take the relationship to counseling, or whether it's to take the relationship to marriage, or whether it's to take it to a place to where you're getting the fuck out. Whatever it might be, that's always the weird placement. Your card for this week, let's start off with, is the Knight of Swords reversed. This is saying that you do not need to go rescue anybody this week or go really intense into situations. The intensity will be there. So you do not want to push things into overdrive this week or rush into situations that, to go meet someone real quick or to figure something out so fast out of nowhere, because the Knight of Swords reversed is almost like, running into something without being fully understanding what it's about to get into itself. So by actually being chill, everything will be revealed. But by going into something or trying to rescue the damsel or the person in distress, or to try and rush into something really fast out of nowhere, this is always out of nowhere stuff. Like, spontaneity is maybe not the best place to be this week. Your challenge card that you got is the South Node. Life debts. Anything that you rush into or feels like it's flashed out of nowhere, or especially because it's a reversal Knight of Swords, if it's an ex-lover trying to come into your life really fast, that's a past situation, that's a life debt, that's a South Node situation, and you don't want to go do that. So no ex-lovers coming back into your life really fast, like love-wise, or trying to come back into your life. Bad news bears. Bad. And you don't want to run into anything really quick, because it might feel actually like an old past life situation, which actually usually feels good at first, but then it always ends up as bad. So you might be going through some clearing of a past life energy, of a past life situation with relationships this week. And the best way to do that is by not putting so much intensity into it, and it will naturally fall away, instead of putting so much into it and then actually being hurt or hurting that person too. And you got the shadow card. Wow. So,
Someone's going to be creeping out of the showers trying to get me. I said showers, but I'm going to say shadows. Showers would be fine too.
You know what? But this is the overall card. So I think it's that you understand your shadow this week, of like, maybe it's nice to have things that feel good and quick and fast and intense and passionate, but there's a shadow to that too. It's like, if it's not being thought at, and especially with the South Node, there's a challenge position. If it feels like it's got some sort of past life energy attached to it, you don't want to go through that. You don't want to go into that energy. And I think that you're going to reveal a lot of great shadows this week that are blocking you from good things, but understanding your shadow is what makes you so passionate and so great. So actually, this is reaffirming the passion and the depth and the greatness of who you are this week. And I think that also, you want somebody who understands their shadow Because I think that you understand your shadow real well, but there might be somebody that might be seeing the situation the same way. And they're not seeing like, hey, it's like, there's nothing better than when somebody understands their own faults in their own life or their own issues. Because I think for you, trust is everything. So this is not a negative card. This is saying that you shouldn't trust anybody who is not willing to show their shadow to you. That's what I'm getting. Anybody who's going to say like, I'm perfect, I don't have anything wrong with me, I've never done anything wrong in my life, like, fucking, get the fuck away from me. Let's see why you pulled that Knight of Swords reversed. You did get the Emperor. Oh no, did you get the Empress? You did get the Empress reversed from this deck. So funny when I'm using multiple decks. But so you don't want to run into a position as somebody who is not in their power, okay? It's almost like the damsel in distress or the dude in distress, whatever it might be. Like, I'm just going through a lot of shit. I don't have shit together. I don't know where I'm at. I don't know where I'm living. I lost my car. I lost all this shit. And you're like, oh, come over. I'll handle you real quick. Like, South Node.
Is that not the all over card or whatever it is?
Oh, you're right. It is. But I actually was doing it for the Knight of Swords. But we can apply it to the same thing, right? Because if we were going to apply it here to the South Node, don't go into a situation with somebody who needs help that isn't in their power. We could flip this one either way you want. And you did pull for this one, the Four of Swords reversed. So the restless energy is definitely trying to, come out through doing something really quick, fast, and it's definitely not what you want to do. Like chill. More stuff's going to come by chilling, actually. I think that there's going to be a test of something that's going to come in really hot, quick, and fast. And you need to see if really they're really in their power or not. Because you don't want to take on somebody not in their power. Or your partner, if you're in a relationship, is trying to pull some weird thing on you that's making you like figure it all out. And it's like, listen, you've got this shit. You can handle it on your own. The shadow card that you pulled is the Judgment card. Yeah, I think that this is about why trust anybody that is not understanding of their true self and exposing their true self and knowing where they're going with a higher purpose in their life. Like, that's not somebody that you should be with. And people that you should be with definitely are people that are in understanding where they're not judgmental of your shadows and they actually see your shadow because they're willing to see the shadow within themselves. And they know that, that they're on the right path in life, that you're not perfect, right? Shadows are what make us great. So I think that this is about false people that look good, but really are not and need a lot of help, but act like they don't. And they might try to steal Scorpio's energy and mojo this week.
Well, I'm pretty confident no past lovers are going to be coming in and trying to creep back into my life this week. It's just a hunch that I have. But we will see, I guess.
Yeah, it sounds like that already started at the beginning of this or before we got in.
No.
That's a different situation.
That was just a friend.
I know. Sun in the 7th house, Taurus. Holy moly.
Holy moly.
Oh, quality of relationships that align with your soul, that are quality and that have their shit together and know their value and they're not valueless or empty of their self-worth. But also it's about a big week about relationships for you. Major theme. But especially though, even with Taurus being your 7th house ruler, I mean, it's pretty intense. Like, this is going to be a lot of relationship energies, but just aligning with people who really are in alignment with the same values that you are, and they are in the same value positions as you are, and they are not asking for you to be something for them. They have confidence within themselves, and they see you and you see them, not they see you and you only see them coming to you and you needing to do everything for them.
Well.
Hey, Scorpio, I'll throw you one more. Let's see why is this Empress reversed with the South Node because this is a pretty karmic, weird situation. Wow, 9 of Swords. It'll bring you a lot of anxiety. It'll feel anxious. It'll feel like, wow, that person also is going to feel like they're coming from a place of despair or fear or a lot of shit. Stay the fuck away. That'll be your sign.
Deal. I could do that. I'll give it the old college try.
And if you want help with this, you can be on highvibe.tv, which of course are awesome apps. And we have a 20% discount code right now, Deep Love. We'll be doing this through tomorrow for Deep Astrology, but you better get it on now, especially because Deep Astrology, the whole version, and my monthly horoscope, the February 2020, staying focused through chaotic distractions. I swear I'm not a chaotic distraction, is about understanding how to get through this crazy month. And there is a secret in this video, which some people might put in the chat, about a transit that is happening in the middle of February here that we have not seen since a specific time that was very crazy for all of us at the beginning of the 2000s. I'll just say that. And the same alignment is happening in February. And if you look at the state of the world right now and how weird some of this stuff of confusion is right now, we all need to be prepared for that. This video tells about it. You can buy it individually and use the discount code. Or if you're a member of High Vibe, which is actually cheaper than the video itself, you get the video and all the daily videos and all the weekly videos at the same time. And that's what keeps this whole place going. Thanks so much for all your support. Truly appreciate it. Thank you, Craig. Love you, brother.
You. Love you. Thank you all for joining. Of course, hop on High Vibe. Like David said, you got some horoscopes on there. We got a couple podcasts on there. Make sure you check out Kim's last painting of the rat for the year of the rats on there under An Art to Life. You can always find me, Chief Mojo Rising, with 2 E's.
And I love you all. Thank you so much for being on Deep Love Tarot. And please share this video. We love all of your guys' posts. I'm always reposting it on Instagram for me and Craig to post up for people to see how crazy and fun and wild and deep and real this show is. And we love all your support. Please spread this video as far as wide as possible. Get it out to your friends and family and even maybe your lover that you're trying to date right now or in your partnership to help them understand what they're going through and what you're going through. Please share this video. We love it. That is what helps us keep the lights on. Love you all very much, especially when you join High Vibe. That's what actually keeps the lights on. So, love you all very much, and we'll see you on the next Deep Love Tarot.